Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. And we're going to kick it off by saying good morning, Mr. Logan. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody?
Hey, doing good, man. We're gonna kick this thing off and ask you this question, man. We got a lot of things going on right now. You know, the big election is coming up. The big election is coming up. And I want to ask a question because I've been talking to a few people and I've been getting some feedback on this topic. And so I want to hear your heart on this, man. Frank, should black and brown people automatically be Democratic? What do you say to that?
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think just because you're black or you're Hispanic or you're whatever that you're automatically Republican or Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
I think just my opinion, is that you need to look at the candidate and you have to vote what fits you.
Mm-hmm.
And just in my lifetime, the Republicans have never put together a platform where they have black people's interests um, in the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've been consistent. The Republicans have just been consistent with doing things that did not, bode well for people of color.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the thing that has caused me to continuously vote Democratic, and not saying that their platform is perfect. It's not, and it's still politics.
Mm-hmm.
But screw up the meat, spit out the bones. I have to get what nutrition I can out of this political system that we have. And I've been getting a little more out of what the Democrats have been giving us.
Okay. That's good. Let me go to Captain Leonard. Good morning, Leonard. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. I'm hoping you can hear me. Can you?
Yes, I can hear you. It's not as crisp as it usually is, but we can definitely hear you, man. And I want to hear you. What I want to hear more than your voice is your heart, brother. And I'm asking the question this morning with the big election coming up, the big election. What everybody says, the big election coming up in November. I'm asking the question because I've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people, and they're saying different things. So, Leonard, I want to hear your heart. Should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic?
You don't automatically do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what somebody believes. You do what's in your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans are not in your best interest if you're a decent human being who believe in personal freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in personal freedoms, not just for black people, but for people, immigrants, women, children, and everybody that breathes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person that just supports people with money or those people who are only interested in taking advantage of other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I heard the back end of what Frank was talking about. There's no longer a conversation you can have with me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the side of doing the best thing for all people, and it has always been Democrat.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, I'm one of the most conservative people you'll meet when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in being conservative regardless of political party. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But we need people qualified that are interested in governing for the best interest of all people, and that has never been the Republican Party.
Now, I hear what both of you are saying, but I also have had conversations with other individuals, black and brown people. There's actually a commercial that's circulating right now with a Latino sister, and she's saying that she's voting for Trump for the reason that Biden is talking about defunding the police, and her husband was a police officer, and so she's voting that way because of that reason. Just one example. I've seen a lot of people talk to a few people. I'm not gonna say a lot, but I've talked to a few people that black and brown people that say they're going to vote Republican. They're voting for Trump. So
it's because my fault.
No, go ahead.
It's because they single, narrow-minded individuals.
Mm.
That's all it is to it. Anybody that will use one issue to determine and make a decision like that is a person that I don't fool with.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because once you're talking about her husband, this, that, and the other, is he still on the police department? What happens when he dies? What happens this, that, and the other? Do your opinions change? Does it only matter because your husband was a police officer? Or does it matter because there's other people with husbands who are police officers? Some people that are talking trash don't even know what defunding really means.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a conservative person like I am, there's always a good reason to defund something if there's a surplus there, or if there's funds being misused or misappropriated.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I can find a way to cut your budget.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
good.
No problem. And it don't have to be a motivating issue like police brutality either.
Mm-hmm.
It could be just a simple fact that we need to save money in your department.
Exactly. Frank, what do you say to that, man? I've talked to a few, and like I said, again, I can't say a lot. But I've talked to a few black and brown people that say that they are voting Republican. They are voting for Trump. Now, what do you say to that, Frank?
I totally agree with Leonard. And, it's sad that people will get to this point in their life and they'll allow a commercial to cause you to vote one way or another. That really just shows that you've done no investigation. You don't know what you're talking about. People don't understand what defunding is, just like Leonard just said. And anytime you fund something, you fund it for it to produce something. And why would you continue to fund something that is not yielding to you what you're funding it for?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to continue. No one is going to continue to invest in something and they're not getting a return.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that? Now, let me say this for whoever it is that's listening and may freak out and say, oh my God, they're talking about getting rid of the police department. No, they're talking about monies that are going to the police department for particular things.
Mm-hmm.
It may be for things that they're supposed to do in the community. That the scare tactics, and my God, man, please stop this. Stop letting people just punk you. If you don't, so should my motivation be that if I don't vote for you, you're not going to protect me in my home. You don't protect me now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's just be real about it. The police respond to crime. They don't prevent it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's quit acting like we have this 24/7 police department around our house where crime is not going to happen. That doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're talking about doing is, if you're putting this a great amount of funds into something that's broken, what you have to do is you have to fix it. But you do have to stop funding it. I do this with my kids. I don't reward bad behavior. I don't. Mm-hmm. If you're clowning, if you're acting up, guess what? You and daddy are not about to go out and get an Xbox. So why am I going to keep sinking money into something that continues to hurt me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Christy, or she was wrong. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Hey, doing good. We asking this question.
Hey, Leonard. Hey, Frank.
We're asking this. Ain't nobody saying.
Morning.
Okay, I was gonna say ain't nobody gonna say hello. Sheila. But
my phone is muted, so when she speaks, my phone is muted.
Oh, okay. All right. But listen, I'm asking the question, Sheila, and I want to hear from you. I've talked to a few people, and black and brown people, and they said that they're voting Republican. They say that they're voting for Trump. And I'm asking the question this morning: should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic? What do you say to
that? No, I don't think you should automatically vote Democratic, but I do believe you should vote for the candidate that's mostly or qualified to run and have your best interest at heart. With that being said, 45 have proven to be a 3-year-old child throwing tantrum. He has also proved not to care about the black or brown people or the things that are important to them, such as um, also he has shown himself not to even care about the elderly, black or white. I mean, he doesn't black, white, brown, green. He's trying to take away Social Security. He's trying to do away with housing programs. He's trying to do away with Medicare and Medicaid. He's trying to do away with a lot of things that um, are important for our elderly, that's important for low economic status people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to get rid of a lot of programs. So now I don't understand why a brown or black person will want to vote for 45 because he's um I only pause because I'm trying to use some educated words. But it's hard to say words about someone who I do not admire and do not respect,
Mm-hmm.
um, that has brought so much chaos into America because America reflects leadership. If you go back and look at all the leaderships, the race wars that are going on, people are now more comfortable in saying things that they normally wouldn't say. I know I was looking on Facebook in Woodland, Texas. There was a banner saying, "I'm gonna use forget," but they didn't use the word forget.
Yeah.
But it said forget um, Jacob Blake, forget um, someone else, and F Black Lives Matter.
Mm.
So to me, everything reflects leadership. So if you are a black or brown person and you're 445, I would actually just think about, are you like mentally retarded, or are you something wrong with you? Because I can see, I mean, I understand voting for a candidate that is um qualified, a
Mm-hmm.
candidate that has shown you something in his 4 years. I myself, because I had this same debate with a Caucasian lady, and she said that, oh, the Democratic Party is for pedophiles not being able to be tried as uh, tried as criminals, or they want to make it a sickness. But actually, when you read it, all they wanted to do was add in. They're not taking it. They want to add in oral, anal, and other things because the way it reads, it was only for vaginal. So they wanted to add things in so they can try more people in heinous crimes with children. So I mean, I feel like it's just the ignorance and really that these brown people, I don't understand. He don't care nothing about you. He really
Mm.
wants a civil war. He really wants you back in slavery. He want America great again. And the time that he's speaking of was great was not when you were great. It was when they was whipping you with whips and raping you and doing
Mm.
all kinds of stuff. That's the time he's talking about. So I
Exactly.
don't understand. I mean, I just can't even fathom a person that's black or brown that would even want to vote for him. Again,
Mhm.
I haven't seen anything in his 4 years that has made him worthy of being voted by anyone. I mean, he threw a tantrum. If you look at Hitler and compare him to Hitler, he's doing some of the same things, except it's not to the Jews, it's to African American people.
Mhm.
Um, he looked like a butthole, he smelled like a butthole, and he act like a butthole. So I
Good
don't
deal.
know.
Let me keep this thing going. Frank, what's on your heart?
You know, I I really can't I really can't understand people that have been abused
Mhm.
and even want that to come out of their mouth. I don't understand it. I mean,
Mhm.
I know people that, at first they thought, oh, that was cute, I'm gonna be different. And then you have the people that they use that are black, that they use like props.
Yes.
They pull
Yes.
them up on stage, say, stand here,
Mm-hmm.
because I want this optics.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a trained animal. And then you have people that are just in it for money. They know if you are black and you're a Republican, you probably, it's easy for you to rise because it's not a whole lot of y'all. But
Mm-hmm.
it's sad. That's just sad.
Yeah. And so to a certain degree, they're really selling out everybody else for financial gain, is what I'm hearing you say.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Leonard, what's on your heart, man? These black and brown people that say they're going to vote for Trump. They say that this is their president and he's my president and blah blah blah. What are they really saying, Leonard?
Well, first of all, I caution anybody that has these types of friends.
Mm-hmm.
See, even if it wasn't about an election, I would not have a friend that would support a person like Trump
Mm-hmm.
because I consider you to be a person. And usually, if you talk to these people, it's something wrong with them. It's something that you don't want to be around.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just something that you don't trust about them. And
Mm-hmm.
you know it in your heart of hearts. There's nothing you really can confide in them
Yeah.
because their character would follow an evil person. And they
Mm-hmm.
want to be a part of that evil because they support evil and they think that evil is winning. So they just want to be a part of evil and winning. They don't care what happens as long as they can say they're on the winning team.
Mm.
People support Trump because Trump supports racism. Trump supports division. Trump supports classism in these types of ways, to the point of it being extreme, to where narrow-minded people pick out one thing and use that to support the rest of them. There is nothing about me that has interest in supporting a wicked, wretched white racist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he does. I don't care what team he's on or what he's promoting. Even if he tried to hand me something good, it would probably be poison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I wouldn't be near. I dissociate myself from these types of people, which I've just done so recently because, like I told them, you touched our family. You had a chance to be around us. You know better. Now you're just choosing to be evil, so I have to separate myself from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. The phone lines are open. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We love to hear your input on this. Let us hear your heart. Should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or is the Republican Party a better option? What do you say to that? 678-381-1973. Shira, what's on your heart?
You know, I'm like Leonard. I can't be around people that are supportive of Trump only because I know who and what he represents. So if that's what you want to represent, then that's fine because I'm going to speak boldly against him. So we're going to end up not being friends anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that black people or brown people need to understand, no one's asking you not to be a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
No one's asking you not to be an independent.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody asking you to be Democratic. But what I'm saying is vote for the more qualified person,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what, um, whether they're Democrat, Republican, or whatever. You vote for the person that has your best interest at heart. And I know a lot of people, black or brown people, who are in the upper middle to upper high class. They're
Mm-hmm.
all for Trump because he is for bringing more money to them.
Yeah.
You know, those tax breaks, those big businesses are for Trump because for those very reasons. Um, he is, he's about money. If you look out the bailout that he gave for the companies and that little bit of money that they gave to us, that was only just to hush us up for the moment, but it wasn't really for a help, because if you look at it and you look at the people who were able to get that little amount of money, it cut off at a certain point for a certain reason, because they know if in order to make the economy go, lower social economic status people mainly spend money very quickly, because they're going to pay their bills. People that's living check to check, hey, it's going to go right back to them. Those that are not living check to check and don't have a job, they're going to go and buy Gucci, they're going to go buy a car, they're going to go buy different things instead of investing saving. Instead of putting that money to some youth, they're expecting them to go to the malls and do all different kind of stuff and buying things. So this is who you have as president, who supports the Confederate flags, who supports the sons and daughters of the Confederate, who is not for um, anyone but self. And he has that mentality. That's why he gets along with the president from Russia, or can get along with Russia um, ideology, because that's what he supports. That's what he wants. He wants it to go there. And the sad thing is, it's people who are so blinded by the smoke screens
Yes.
that they're not seeing who he really is. And I'm like, Leonard, if you support someone like that, how can you be a friend of mine?
Mm-hmm.
You, in other words, you want to take from my children, you want to take the financial aid for them so they'll be able to go to college. You want to take away so many programs. And really and honestly, if you look at it, a lot of the stuff that's helping is not only African Americans. I
Mm-hmm.
looked on Facebook again, it's like 400,000 people, or it was so many people that was found frauding the SNAP benefits, and they were all white women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you I work at a federally qualified health center where I do Medicaid. I promise you the main people are coming to me are not looking like me,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So and those that are on Medicare, they're saying they need that Medicare, that's looking for help. It's people in small town areas that are needing a help, but they're not all black.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot associate these programs with only African American people, because they're going to affect more than that. Medicare, Social Security, all these different things help a number of people, and he's trying to cut all of that out. Whether you want to believe it or not, if he get another term, it's going to be detrimental for the United States of America, because he's not going to care, because he's not going to run again. He will be let loose, and
Mm-hmm.
I will be afraid on what's going to happen.
Good deal. Good deal. Frank, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me, man. And Frank, let me ask you this question. Chrissy just put something out there. A lot of times, America wants you to think that the welfare system and people and organizations that's helping the community in that way is mainly black and brown people. That's not those are not facts, Frank. Those are not facts. And she says she worked there and she see it every day. So what do you say to that? Why do they put such a face on it to represent one group of people when someone else is actually getting the benefits?
Well, I mean, they always try to put our face on anything that's negative,
Mm-hmm.
anything that's a handout, anything where if they can make it appear that we're struggling, they always want to put a face on it where it doesn't reflect them. If you listen to historically over the years, even talk about the people that are not black,
Mm-hmm.
that conduct themselves in a certain way. They don't even describe them as being white. They call them trailer trash,
Mm.
or they're poor white trash. They're going to be something else besides being white, because
Mm-hmm.
then they have to own it.
Yeah.
They have to own the fact that people uh, struggle, no matter what nationality they are. I misspoke earlier, and it's easy for me to do because and it was an excellent point that the other people on the panel brought up. I think I said I have friends that thought it was cute or funny and voted for Donald Trump, and I put that word in there where I should have said acquaintances.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, because my circle of friends, even though they have their it's a very small group of people, and they do still have, you know, free will. But the people that run with me, we kind of just think alike, you know, because you know, it's difficult to be around somebody that would, you know, think that much differently than you.
Yeah.
But when I use that term friend, that means it would be someone that could see me in public and know my name. That we would hold a conversation. They could walk up and say, "Hey Frank, how you doing? We don't agree, but you know me."
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're really a acquaintance, but just for the sake of you know, saying who these people are, it's basically people that I know, that I do know, people, some people that I grew up with.
That's good.
Disappointed, you know, disappointed in them. And really more than disappointed, confused.
Yeah.
You know, I just, at this point, if you don't get it by now, I don't.
But Frank, there's a lot of people. Well, Frank, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of black and brown people that they're diehard Trump supporters. They're diehard Trump supporters, and they will argue with you. And I wish one or two of them will call in today, just so we can have a conversation, so I can kind of pick their brain and pick their heart and find out, you know, what is it about this man you love so much. But Frank, there's some people out there that look just like us, black and brown people, that will support Trump to the very, very end. What do you say to that?
You know, some people will just accept things quickly and never investigate them. A lot of people, and they use the word evangelicals.
Yeah.
And then they are referring to certain people that are supposed to be representing religion that is on the hill. But a lot of people, you know, they got with Bush. They got caught up with voting for Bush because they said that at that time that the Democrats were really pushing abortion. And they said, you know, how can I vote for a party that pushes abortion? But when you look back historically for years, I don't care who's been in the office, there hasn't been any laws or bills or anything else passed that supported or cast it down. So there has been no change, no matter who's been in office. But they let them use stuff like that and trap them. They figure, okay, what is it? How can I pull at your heartstrings? Oh yeah, well they don't like this. Now they're trying to use the defunding the government. They're going to try to use, and I keep telling people, I've been saying this for months, this looting is playing right in the Republicans' hands, because that's the thing that they're going to use. Yeah.
Good deal. Let me do this. We have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller that just called in. Let me see. We lost that caller. Caller, if you get an opportunity, give me a call back. The 404 area code. Get an opportunity, give me a call back. We'd love to have your input and have your opinion as to what we're talking about today. And we're actually having a discussion. I'm loving the conversation that we're having. We're talking about, should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or is the Republican Party a better option? 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Just make sure you don't lose them. Put them in your pocket.
Let me tell you, there are a lot of things that we, should be taken into consideration, but it's not rocket science. I think where we're missing it is we're missing the fact of how many terrible people there are in this world. And that one, you keep allowing them positions of authority. So what would you expect? I am a Christian, but I am a very rational person. I don't believe in imposing my Christianity on other people. or nor do I want someone to impose their Christianity on me, whether it be, or impose Islam. As much as I love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Prophet to the Black man, as much as I love the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, as much as I love T.D. Jakes or whatever, if they couldn't set aside their religious preference to govern this nation in an equal and fair way, I wouldn't vote for them.
I got you.
And so we have to understand. And I was going to use a better example. It's like Frank said, I'm glad to hear him speaking the way he's speaking. Because even though to me, Frank is a great guy. Now, I've never met Frank or anything, but I can tell the way he talks, the way a friend vouched for him, and his ability to be unbiased. But if I were to vote for Frank, would Frank impose Christianity on me unfairly?
No.
See, these are the type of things we need. It's not that I agree with everything that the Democrats do, but there has been no party that has been for more people to succeed than the Democratic Party. And I was that person that won if there was a Republican issue or person, that was on the ticket. Let me hear what you got to say, what you plan on doing.
Yeah.
The Republicans had some great candidates on that stage, but they chose the sickness of this country, voted for Donald Trump.
Good deal.
You had a minister, you had somebody on here that used to be a part of DKM a long time ago.
Yeah. He was a Trump supporter.
And I let him know straight up. Yeah, I knew something about that grinning Negro face of yours. See, some people are happy with slavery if they can be in the house. You heard me? I don't trust them type of people. Slavery is wrong.
Hey, Raheem. Leonard just posed a great question.
Okay. Hey,
Frank, I'm gonna tell you how great. Let me just say this. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna tell you how great this question is. He posed the question that if Frank was running for office, would he unfairly try to push Christianity on me? Now I'm gonna tell you how great that question was. I don't know the answer because I've asked myself that question. Just to be totally honest, because there has been times where, and I may get fussed at for saying this, but there's been times where the Republicans have taken very strong stands against homosexuals, and I've been for that. And it's tough for me because I am so against the Republican Party. But then I look at, okay, so what you're saying right now, I agree with, but what I don't agree with is the wholeness of what you do. So the question that Leonard posed, I honestly believe that I would not be able to set aside who I am as a Christian if I took a public office, and that's probably why Frank, I'm not in public office.
Let me ask you a question. In that we got a caller, we got to go to the caller right after I say this right here. So caller, I'll stand by. We're coming to you next. That's almost like, and I'm just trying to paint I like painting pictures. That's almost like having a pie on the table, taking a slice of the pie and say that you love the pie. It's a great pie. That slice that you had, but you don't like the rest of the pie.
I agree. I agree.
I was like, wow.
And it may not seem to make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It's true.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That slice that you got, you love it. It's the best piece of pie you ever had, but you don't like where it came from. You don't like the whole pie. We got a caller.
Correct.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
How honest Frank is. That's what I love about it, because he was honest about it.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on for a minute. Let me go to this caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Isna, and I'm calling from Georgia. How are you all this morning?
Hey, Isna, how you doing this morning?
I'm alive and attempting to stay well.
You winning.
That's the most we can do.
Exactly. You winning. You are winning. I want to ask you the question. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Show. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you the question that we're talking about right now. Should Black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or is the Republican Party a better option, or even an option at all? What do you say to that?
I believe that we have become accustomed to this phrase that I keep hearing. You gotta choose the lesser of two evils.
Mm.
Am I, as a believer in the Most High God, no, I don't have to believe the lesser of anything. If I can't put them both on a scale and decide that if it's going to affect me and those I love, we need to stop being told what we must do, because then too, that's still dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
Either
Mm.
way,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the man next door to me from the man of the moon, how he runs his house, nor the woman next door to me, how she runs her house. Everyone has their own government and how they govern themselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And we are sitting here as a people thinking that what we're giving on platforms is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm in journalism, and I understand that there is what they call the gatekeepers.
Yes.
The gatekeepers are those who try to keep the gate from you coming over it or entering in
Mm-hmm.
into whether it be more knowledge or understanding of what really is. And I'm just going to put this out there. The Call of Duty, the game, it starts out as saying, all warfare begins with deception. Now, that's a Chinese general's statement,
Mm-hmm.
that what is isn't and what isn't is. So how do we determine who is going to govern this country as a whole when we have seen that both parties or three parties, you're looking Democratic, Republican, Independent, has any party since the inception of us being here, Black and brown people on this side of America, have we seen any party come to admit that our lives matter?
Mm.
We have just begun to just kind of assimilate with all the chaos. We have been just peaceful in place of chaos. We have managed to adapt. But there has not been one president, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, that has stood up to admit that the bull that we're seeing now, this is just a byproduct of everybody taking the baton and keeping on with the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ask, like in the Bible, it says you want a king, we'll give you one. But who will you say is your king? We need to ask ourselves, who do we want to govern us? Or are we going to begin to, I know people say, well, we can't expect us to govern ourselves. Well, why not? You got to govern your home. You govern your neighborhood. That's what we did as a Black people. We governed our neighborhoods. We didn't let the hellish children just do whatever. We stopped that because we were told, oh, that's abusive.
Mm-hmm.
But the same abuse that took place then is taking place now at the hands of those who said that they will protect and serve. Now, I know my mom and my grandmother was trying to protect and serve me too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when do we get back to that? Because if we don't govern our homes, it won't matter truly who's in the White House, this governor house, and I've written all of them. I've written President Trump. I've written my governor, Brian Kemp. And I've written my Congressman Hank Johnson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't make anybody accountable, how are we going to say that we can vote for any of them in good faith based on what they tell us they're going to do, and not any of them have been accountable to what they say they'll do? Otherwise, we still wouldn't be in the same predicament we're in now.
Good deal. Good deal. Hold on, sister. I got another call. I want to go to that call. I'm going to come back to you. So if you got a few minutes, hang out with us for a minute. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Travis.
Hey, Travis, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, brother. Good to have you this morning. We're asking the question:
Man, good to you.
should Black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or is the Republican Party a better option, or even an option at all? What do you say to that?
Well, I think in this day and age, with the Republicans straying so much towards President Trump, at least in the national part of it, it's hard as an African American to vote for that. Now I believe that Dr. Martin Luther King and others died for us to have the right to vote,
Mm-hmm.
and not what party to vote for, just the right to vote. So anyone who wants to vote as a Republican, that's their exercise right, and I believe in them doing it. The problem is the man who's in the White House right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And the way the Republican Party is constantly going towards placating his things. Look the other day, yesterday, he sat up there and told people to go out and vote twice in North Carolina.
Good Lord.
You know, you heard about that, didn't you?
No, I know. I didn't hear about that. And
Yeah, he told people to get their ballot, do absentee ballot, and to test their ballot, also go in and try to vote in person.
wow.
And then you got the Attorney General that's sitting up there placating it, talking about he don't know if that's against the law. You know, and you having these type of things going on. But what I will say is locally, if you're in Gwinnett County, you know I got to do this now.
Yes, sir.
If you're in Gwinnett County, my wife, Patsy Austin Gatz,
Mm-hmm.
is running for district attorney here in Gwinnett County
Yes.
in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
She is a Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
and I think once she gets in as the district attorney, she's going to try to work for everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
whoever voted for and who didn't vote for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's the key, especially when you get into, you know, being a district attorney. You got to work for the citizens of Gwinnett County.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, some of the democratic values of caring about our young people, caring about the poor,
Mm-hmm.
caring about the victims, trying to do recidivism, trying to reduce recidivism. All those are values that she's going to bring into the office. And a lot of those, I believe, are democratic values at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. And that, you know, that's what I got to say about it.
Good deal. Good deal. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Raheem? This is Cedric Mayfield.
Hey, Cedric, how you doing, sir?
How you doing, Doc?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We're asking the question this morning, brother. Should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or is the Republican Party a better option or even an option at all? What do you say to that?
I got to be truthfully honest with you, Mr. Raheem. That question right there, to me, is a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no-brainer. It's not even something even to think about to me. We have to vote Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
whether we want to or not, whether we like it or not. I mean, just we about us. We about our people, you know, so we have no choice but to vote Democrat, because we know at the end of the day, who's going to be more in our corner? It's going to be the Democratic Party, period.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that the Republicans are not for us, and they've made it very clear.
Mm-hmm.
They've made it very clear over the years. So it's really a no-brainer on whether we vote Democrat or not. But what I'd like to add to that is that it's not even about just the voting, because we can go in there and vote all day long, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be us coming together as a people to actually make some change happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's in the White House, who's in the Brown House, Black House. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is us coming together as a unit, as a whole, as a people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when we're going to start to see a difference. It's not just going to be because we voted to put one person in the White House.
Mm-hmm. Got you. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, are you there?
For me,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. How you doing, sir?
good morning.
We're asking the
How
question.
y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We're asking the question:
Good.
should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or should they vote Republican, or is the Republican Party even an option? What do you say to that, Donald?
Let me say it like this: how's it working out for us for the last 2.5 years? I mean, what you got? What you got in office now?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have in office now? And how is that? I'm talking about as a whole. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about
the few and the proud
Mm-hmm.
and the arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always almost say something else, but they're selfish. I would call it selfish because some think they have arrived, and because they've arrived and it's benefiting them, they say the Republican Party is the best for the nation.
Mm-hmm.
But look at what's happening, and it happens every time.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Republican. We get pushed off the side for 4 or 8 years, and then when we get another Democrat, and I'm not saying Democrat is the best thing, because a crook is a crook.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you choose the best of the two evils,
Mm-hmm.
because politicians will lie to you in a minute, and the president doesn't run anything. Somebody's pushing the button because he's a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Being used by people that are a party that's in charge, that really dictates. That's why, and I'm just saying this, that's why Obama could not do anything,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't want him to do anything.
Exactly.
They shut him down every time you turn around.
Mm-hmm.
They was rejected and denied him a lot of stuff. And then as soon as they won, when President Trump got in office, he decided everything that Barack and Michelle did, he was going to tear it down,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still trying.
Yeah, exactly.
So how's the Republican Party working for us as a people? That's the question.
Not working at all. Not working at all. Let me see. It's no what's on your heart, and Frank coming to you next. It's no what's on your heart right now. We're putting a lot of things out there, man, and like Donald said, we're not saying that the Democratic Party is perfect. It's not. We're not gonna say it's perfect, but at the same time, is it a better option for us? What do you say to that, Ishmael?
I would ask, and this is just when I heard the brother say a crook is a crook. And so I liken things to my home personally, because we're affected by what happens in the government. We all believe we are affected. So if we had to take that mindset, a crook is a crook. So if you had a house full of your children that you love, would you let a rapist or a murderer in your home? And that's your only choice. Which one would you let come into your home?
Wow.
I just want to, which one, how would you determine which is the lesser of the two? With your children whom you love, and we are talking about the futures of our children because we're almost out of here. But which one would you want in your home with your child? A rapist, a known repetitive rapist, or a repetitive murderer? Which one would you let in house?
I'll answer that, Raheem. I'll answer that, Raheem.
Go ahead.
If it's in my house, neither one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the thing about it is, and I am a type of person that senses deception in people's voices and their comments.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you try to veil it, I can tell when you're against my objectives.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have to realize here, I don't do things for conversation's sake. The things that I speak about on this radio show, I'm doing out in my activism.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm not sitting here trying to pitch people against one another. I am on the side of righteousness, and I will stand there by myself. Now, it's not self-righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you right now, what matters the most to me is the benefit of all people, whether you're black, straight, or whatever. I'm going to fight to make sure you have the freedom to make the choices you need to make for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose wrong, if you choose to your detriment, that's your business. But it's about being able to choose and pursue life, liberty, and happiness the way you choose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sitting here, I'm not like you got folks, I couldn't imagine, this type of Christianity that came about over all these years. I've only been here 50. But from reading and things of that nature, It's very clear. Decent people are on one side of this coin because decent people care about other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about one that it's never been the lesser of two evils. It's about the one that's trying to do the most right. So when people sit there and they use these comments, the lesser of two evils, another one, the devil's advocate. I take those things seriously. So when you say you advocating for the devil, I go, okay, let me hear what the rest of this person has to say. Because see if they're truly advocating for the devil or not. Because one, I don't pose a question just to get likes. This is the way I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need you to be my friend or nothing. But if I can't help you, I'm surely not going to try to hurt you.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Good deal. Hold on, Leonard. I got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Anna.
Anna. Good morning, Anna. Anna, we're asking the
Good
question.
morning. Good morning.
Have you been listening this morning thus far?
Yes and no. I got up late today
Mhm.
and I drove to an appointment, so I got a very short part of it. I
Okay.
got when the young lady called in. I couldn't get her name. I think it started with an I.
It's
Where she was saying lesser than two evils. That's
Okay.
what I heard.
Okay, well, let me throw the question out there and I'm gonna let you answer accordingly. We're talking about
Mhm.
should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic or should they vote Republican? Is that a better option for us, Republican Party? What do you say?
Okay. So it doesn't take a genius to know. Okay. So I don't ever deny since I was first registered to vote. I've been a registered Republican.
Mhm.
Why I'm very conservative. However, anyone who knows me knows I'm never going to vote for a Republican because you're a Republican.
Mhm.
And normally my track record shows Democrat. The vote goes Democrat. That's why I always state on the show, I am a swinging vote. You never know which way I'm going to vote. But one thing I am going to vote for is the person who can do that position,
Mhm.
whether it's primaries, in primaries, I think you can only vote for, that party. But, and I don't remember right now because I'm walking with Nathaniel while Desiree's in the appointment. But these fanatics make me so mad, and I'm sure many of you guys who follow me or on my social media know I don't believe vote Trump because he's Trump.
Mhm.
My vote did not go to Trump last election. My vote went to Hillary Clinton. As I've mentioned to many people in the past, the only time I think I have voted Republican, which is no secret, was when former President George W. Bush elections came up. And I think it was one I did and one I didn't, or vice versa. With that being said, it doesn't mean that because I'm registered something, I have to vote that way.
Yeah.
You see? And that's why when I listen to people, I'm like, okay, you sound really ignorant to me going down your list and voting Democrat or Republican or whatever you're voting all the way down because they're that party. Are they really suited to be the best person to help you and to help your community? Because that's what you need to ask yourself. One thing I'll say, even though I fall into a total different bracket, it does. I want people to understand something. It does the bracket I'm at. No difference. I'm probably paying more taxes than the lower class or the working class, not the lower class, the working class, and probably more than the upper class.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm at a bracket where, that doesn't happen. I also wanted to add to that, Raheem, if I could, real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
One thing with the Republican Party, and I get tired of this, the whole abortion, this is why, because I am very conservative. I really am. My beliefs are. However, don't tell me, that I wear a mask because it's my body when you can be killing people out there because you're not wearing that mask. And it's the same thing as those people who are more liberal or open-minded or whatever. No, I'm not even going to say that. Whatever their decision is to do with their body like they like, well, you know what? That's that lady's body.
Yeah.
That's that lady's body. And it's the same difference because you killed somebody. At the end of the day, I don't care how you look at it, and I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. Think about that, because these are people that are sitting here giving a wrong signal out there. And I'm like, how hypocrite can you be?
Exactly.
How dare you?
Okay, and hold on.
So
I got another caller.
Yeah.
Want to go to this caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, you got me? Just me, Rico?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rico, what's going on?
Oh, what's going on, Rico? Calling from Madison, Alabama. What's going on with everybody?
Man, hey, you doing good, doing good. Gotta hear your heart, brother. Should the black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or should Republican Party be a better option for us, or is it even an option at all? What do you say to that?
I'm gonna say there is an option, but you need to be connected and involved because there can be a shift one day. And the reason why I say it can be a shift because history will repeat itself if we're not careful. And it happened once before when the Dixiecrats left the Democrats and jumped to Republicans. So you got people still making that dumb point to this day about the Republicans freeing the slaves and this and that. And they don't realize that it was a whole process that caused a lot of those racist Democrats to jump to the Republican Party. It was a big history that came along before that. So, I mean, that really shows you when you look at the fact that Trump even got in. He realized then that we lived in a dysfunctional, disconnected, self-centered society in this country. When he won, he knew then all he had to do was be a reality show like he was on The Apprentice. They loved him on that show. They loved him so much that they put him in office knowing he wasn't qualified, so they keep doing what works. And that worked because we live in a dysfunctional society. What bothers me most is that I realize we are a disconnected and self-centered people. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm coming back off of Anna because I was going to say this earlier before I finally called in. People will vote. And like me, myself, I support whoever is there to look out for the most vulnerable. The haves don't need that much support. The haves have got it. They made that point where they reached that goal they call success. They have achieved that. So they do deserve rights. They deserve protection. They deserve not to have their money taken from them. But they have a lot more access than the vulnerable. So I'm voting for those that look out for the most vulnerable, even though I might not be the most vulnerable. But you got people that will vote based on their material standings in this world, what tax bracket they are in. So when you got athletes that forget that they came from the projects and were sleeping with rats and roaches and start voting a certain way because they make a couple $1 million a year, they forgot where they come. What about your family? What about your friends that still making $10,000 or $20,000 a year? So we have people that only vote for their selfish reasons and not voting for the best of humanity. I try to vote for the best of humanity, but I'm not going to say designate yourself a Democrat right now. Democrats look like they could be more in our favor, but we've heard some double speak. We've heard Kamala Harris say that she thought that Biden was a rapist, and now she feels he qualified enough to be on his team. We heard Biden say he didn't care what caused super predators to become super predators. He just wanted to get them off the street and rack up the next bunch of them that he didn't help fix and put them in jail too. So we still voting for these people that subliminally call our children super predators. So, man, it's a tough decision to make, but we have to. What happens is that we have to stop talking about it and get more proactive and get involved, hold these people accountable, or start our own party when they see that we are serious enough and we want to be involved. Because you don't see us involved as citizens like you used to. You don't see too many Fannie Lou Hamers going up in front of Congress speaking as a minority black woman at this point in time, where everybody in there didn't nobody in there want her in that field. She went in there and spoke on behalf of politics and voting. Plain old little black woman from Mississippi. So we got to get more of those. We don't need just one now, like we were saying yesterday. We don't need one leader or one example. We need thousands.
Yeah.
It's
Good deal.
time. It's been going on too long.
Good
Same
deal.
conversation.
Good deal. Let me go to Frank. What's on your heart, brother? Frank, you there?
You know, we've been talking about the Republican and the Democratic Party for a long time. You know, the one thing that I wish we would do is vote for each other.
Come on.
I wish we would come to a place where we would say, I believe in you and I'm going to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And then begin to define what that support look like. You know, what does it really mean to be Black? What does it mean? It's just we so loosely throw things out and we want to say we stand for something. But if we just stood for each other, you know, I don't want to bring this up in a very sensitive time, but the Chinese people went through a lot. But the one thing, just being in that culture, you know, being in martial arts, the one thing that they've always done, they stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
They've been, you know, teased and discriminated against, but they built their businesses and they have their community and they stick. You don't know nothing about them. You know, the word of God says only a fool utters his whole mind.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to quit telling everybody how we feel, what we're planning, what we're going to do. There's certain all you got to do is think about your own family. There's conversations that I have with my family that I'm not going to have with anybody else. There's plans that we make, and they're not plans to anybody else's demise. It's just plans on how we're going to succeed as Logan.
Mm-hmm.
But that conversation is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish, man, I really, it would just really make me just so happy and proud of Black people if we just said, you know what, I'm gonna vote for you, and then what that means is we're gonna govern our communities because we can do it.
Yeah,
we're the only ones that really can do it, because the people that we're looking, they're talking about defunding the police department, but the people that we're looking to protect us are the very people that are pumping drugs and weapons into our communities.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same people. A lot of people don't know when they put those marijuana stores in your neighborhoods, in the Black communities, immediately you're not able to get funding in that area for the government.
Mm-hmm.
So if we would really stop and think about, okay, what's going on? You know, let's get rid of these strip clubs. Let's get rid of these liquor stores. Let's not let them put these plasma centers in our neighborhood. You know, the next thing that they're coming up with this COVID vaccine, they're talking about giving people $1,000 to take the shot.
Mm.
That's just being guinea pigs. And guess where that's going to happen? That's going to happen in the inner city around the world.
Yep.
So let's vote for each other, man. Let's quit being suckers. Let's quit just falling for any and everything. Let's quit being so quickly moved and by money.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Cedric, what's on your heart? Donald, coming to you next. Cedric, you there? I think we may have lost Cedric. Donald, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, we stay right there with, you know, what will a man can exchange for his soul?
Mm-hmm.
And then the love of money is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
If you figure out what's running all of this evil that we're seeing, there's a dollar bill behind it, and somebody sold out for it. I mean, really. I mean, look at some of the supporters. Even the ones that they put to the forefront when they have their little rallies, you see 2 or 3 or 4, a group of certain kind of people that they want to make sure that they put them on camera. And then he says they love black people. Well, if you love me, you ain't gonna treat me like that. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Love is what love does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can talk love all you want to, but when you shoot me down in the street,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other fella does something the same, similar, or worse, and you take him to McDonald's, or you wipe his wounds, bandage him up, take care of him, and take him in like you're supposed to. Something wrong with that kind of love you got.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it.
It doesn't line up. It doesn't line up, does it?
We like Boo Boo the Fool.
Yeah.
And we do it over and over and over again. And we put some clown, and I call him a clown, this little young fella, and he wants to put his little red hat on, and he's a little silly fella. I don't even know his name, but I know he's silly. I hope you're listening. He's silly. Anyway. And there's a lot of silly people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because they are Republicans. It's because you have that little smile, that certain kind of smile when they sit at a table, their dinner table. They call you a certain thing, and then you just happy because they gave you a couple of dollars. That's sad.
Absolutely. Shira, what's on your heart?
Hey guys, again. Just want to know, just to say, you have to know who people are, and people always put facades on, fake to make you believe that they're something that they're not. Just like in the time right now with Hurricane Laura, President Trump has done a lot to help Louisiana right now, but that doesn't mean he's a good person. That doesn't mean that he really likes Louisiana. It just means that he wants to get elected into office. Sometimes we gotta look at people's motives. Why are they doing the different things that they're doing? And it's like Frank and Donna was saying, it's a dollar sign behind it sometimes.
Yeah.
And some people would sell their soul out for $1 or $2. And still with the Democrat, Republican, I don't care what office you hold, whether you Democrat, Republican, Independent. What I do care is I care about your platform. And are you the type of person that's going to be honestly to do it? And I have to separate sometimes. We as people are so emotional, and we are so driven by emotion and our belief system that sometimes we fail to listen to what people are saying that may be better for the state or for the world. For example, I myself am a Christian, so I myself do not believe in abortion. However, my neighbor may not be a Christian. My neighbor got raped, found she was pregnant, won abortion. I know my philosophy and my morals would be like God will make you through it. But at the same time, I can't inflict what I believe on someone else. And that's where we have a problem when we're looking at these different parties. The parties are generic parties that are for everybody. Everybody is not a Christian. That's why there's a separation of church and state. Whether you agree with it or not, there's a separation. So my morality or the things that I believe in should not be a part of me deciding if this person is going to be great for me or great for America or great for this. Too many times we get hung up on a specific point, a specific thing, and we miss out on all the bigger picture. Are all politicians liars? Yes. Are all politicians have a central goal is to get elected and receive the benefits? Yes. It's my job to dissect that person or dissect what they're saying to know if it's true. And it's like my grandma used to always say, you may fool me sometimes, but you can't fool me all the time.
Exactly.
That's where we need to be when we're trying to decide as Black and brown people. Ask one simple question. Has Trump, in the 4 years he's been in office, has he done anything for the Black community? Has he done anything about police brutality? Has he done anything about the race wars? Has he done anything besides the stimulus package?
Christian, let me
Has
ask you this.
he himself?
Christian, let me ask you this. What would you say to the people that say, well, he did give us some money and he made jobs go up and he did this and he increased the unemployment, he decreased the unemployment rate and all these different things. What do you say to those people that say that?
First of all, that's a lie from the pit of hell. The things that Trump are benefiting from that benefits us was due to Barack Obama and things that he had in place before Trump came into office. You have to understand the way things work is not like, oh, Obama can say, I need this to be done right now. It takes a process and it takes time for things that he implemented to actually come into the view for us to see. So that's what we're seeing. When we saw the jobs creating, that was through Barack Obama. When we are seeing the unemployment going down, that was due to the 8 years of Barack Obama. Now, if you look at from now and see how things are now, how we're about to go in recession and depression, how jobs are now being scarce, how people are coming out with their racism. Now, that's Trump. That's all Trump. And for us, the job creating, as someone else told me, I say, well, name one job he created for African American, Black, brown people, or what job did he create? He did the things that he created was due to the things Barack Obama had in place. Now, as far as him giving money, that wasn't by him. That was the House and the House of Representatives and the Senate had to vote on it. That's why if it was okay, let's say it like this, why we haven't got the second round. If Trump was so for the first one, then if it was all Trump, then why haven't we received the second? Because he said the second one is needed. But I don't see it yet because it has a process. It has to go through the House of Representatives, the Senate, and then him know your checks and balances. And you have to understand that he's not for us. He will never be for us. I don't care how you support him. I don't care how he put up African American peoples up on stage. I don't care how he try to front and fake. He is about green money. He's not about Black people, brown people, or white people, because if you white and poor, he has nothing for you. So I want you to understand that the white people that's supporting him, that's in low economical status places like in Winfield or farmlands and those people of those type of people that are on Social Security and all retirement, he is not for you. He is for those that are rich.
Okay, stay right there. We're gonna keep this thing going. I want to go right now to Donald. Donald, what's on your heart, brother? Ishmael, coming to you next.
Some kind of way, I'm glad you came to me because and I was finna type it in, but I can say it. When did the president ever put his name on a check?
Wow. I've never seen it.
What kind of mess is that? What kind of mess is that? What kind of self-centered, all about me mentality can that be? When you didn't take that out of your bank account, so what's your name doing on the check? But it's
because I'm the greatest president you've ever
seen.
Because I'm the greatest.
To play tricks with the mind. What's say?
No, because I'm the greatest president. You've never seen a president like me before. There'll never be another president like me. I'm the greatest president you've ever seen. America has never seen a president. Man, this man's so full of himself. Go ahead, Donald.
No, I mean, and so somebody that wants to hear what they want to hear, and even in fulfilling scripture, we would rather believe a lie rather than the truth. That's all it is. That's what we are doing. We're lovers of ourselves more than it's just fulfilling itself. It's showing us you clearly. You can't get away from it. You may deny it. You may call it a lie. But look around you and see what's going on in the world. And you don't have to look at the news. Look at the word.
Yeah.
And you'll see it just planning itself all the way out. Clearly. Undeniably. It's right there. And
Exactly.
here's this clown that makes an agreement with you. And in the middle of the agreement, he breaks it and goes about business. And I think he's the Antichrist because we had a lot of them.
And my
But
thing,
I'm saying the word plans out in his actions and the others' actions too.
exactly. And look at Trump University. He took all these people money, and then filed bankruptcy, and nobody was able to get their money back. That's kind of suspect to me. Ishna, what's on your heart?
I just want to say this, and I have a word just for anyone that is under the sound of your voice and our voices. We matter, and it's not because someone tells us our lives matter. We have to find peace within, literally, because at the end of the day, the news is only what's happening north, east, west, and south, and there is nothing new about the news. And as the brother said, it's in every scripture, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Jewish, whether you are Christian. This is the news of now. And we have to operate in this now moment. And if we get so consumed with what is going on outside of us, and I'm talking about this at home,
Yes.
within ourselves, outside of us, if you don't even have peace in your own home, how do you expect to have peace in your neighborhood, in your city,
Come on,
in your state, and in the world? It's a state of mind. We have to reclaim first our state of mind. Because when we reclaim our state of mind, our state within our homes, our neighborhoods, our states, and our country. I'm a dreamer, and I've had so many dreams about America being taken over by a wave. But what will we allow that wave to be? Is it going to be a wave of racism, a wave of this? But no, I'm a believer. I'm a child of the Most High. And there's nothing and no one above the Most High. I don't care what religion you put yourself in right there, but the Most High is the highest. And so I'm not going to allow anything outside of me and outside of my home to cause me further disharmony.
Exactly.
I'm doing things in my neighborhood with the children. These children are stressed. These parents are stressed. What can you do in your own community? And we trying to run a house that we have never been in. Govern your houses. Govern yourself. You the first temple. You.
Come on.
Us. We are a temple.
Yes.
And we have to manage that first before we can try to manage any other temple outside of us. And that's just my word. Continue to govern your homes, your mind, your spirit, body, and soul.
Yes, yes. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Good deal. Good deal. Is and I appreciate that. Rico, what's on your heart?
I just I'm realizing that we are the most confused. I'm gonna say black people and poor white people are the most confused people in this country. We're having conversations and debates about things that we could go and research and find the facts on. And so now it's to a point where we still have to debate which party is good for us. And I'm not gonna even say which party, because the way the politics game is played, some people might run under another platform just to get elected, but they have Democratic views or Republican views. So they're still playing the game, which the game is a mind game. And hold on, y'all, I'm in traffic.
Okay.
So I got lost a little bit, but I want to ask this question, because I know, like, most of us, I'm gonna say all of us probably are leaning in the same direction. We're supporting Biden and Harris, right?
Yes.
But everything that we're saying, we're gonna agree with. You're gonna get the amen choir on everything that's being said. But what could we say to those that was on that Black History program at the Republican National Convention that first night? Those people have a totally different opinion. So what can we say to them to change everything? Now, I feel like the cure is in the facts of history. Our problem is that we got a lot of people in our community that really don't understand politics, and then we're talking about splitting which party we should vote for when less than half of our community votes. You know, so it's like we're having conversations where we're minor players in the game. The majority of our community that should be involved, not only are they not involved, but they're telling people not to vote.
Mhm.
They're not voting and they're telling people not to vote. It's just a lot of bad information going out there. Like they said, they'll talk about, well, the Republicans freed the slaves. Man, come on, they'll let me know you ain't been paying attention. So I think we have to take the time out. We all have a lot of solutions, a lot of opinions and things that we point out. But when it gets down to trying to solve those problems, let's reach out to people that we talk to and break down that information about how the Dixiecrats did jump to the Republican Party.
Mhm.
Let's talk about Strom Thurmond. Let's talk about those historical racists that ran the Republican Party and had all the vulgar things to say and the beliefs that we don't address. Because it's like we gloss over a lot of stuff. You hear people bring up a point, there's enough of a reason to justify us turning our vote, but then they won't keep speaking on it. Our problem should be solved. They got Mitch McConnell, they got so many different congressmen that have showed you and have said racist things.
Yep.
But it gets glossed over. They should be headline news.
Exactly.
Then it would be more obvious.
That's good. That's good, man. This thing is good today, man. I'm definitely enjoying everything. Anna, what's on your heart, man? We got so much going on right now. Is the Republican Party even an option in this upcoming election, Anna?
No. You cannot, and that's, Christy said a lot of where my mind stands at. That's exactly where I stand at. Wonderfully said. And the other young lady, I couldn't agree more. Rico just stressed some points. That's what I stand for. You cannot just sit here and vote for somebody who, remember, this is to my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters who are voting for Republican. Do not forget that when he went to the island, he threw paper towels at our fellow brothers and sisters. Do not forget that he called that island scum, trash, because it's been them to come in and put factories in and then leave and abandon it.
And
Anna, my people go through a lot.
And let's not forget that he said that he had a great conversation with the Puerto Rican president.
Oh yeah, the Puerto Rican president, which was our governor, who at the time who was overturned out of office as well. Did not go help the island. His answer was, let's send the National Guard and let's hurt them, and get them out of there. The Puerto Rican people did not stand for that. They did not. They went there in numbers. I'm so proud to say in that instance that I am Puerto Rican and that we stuck together, and that's how it should be. Because I am a registered, and that's where I was going, because I am a registered Republican does not mean I'm going to vote for each, and excuse that I say it this way, each idiot that comes up and says, I'm Republican, vote for me because I'm conservative like you are. No, show me why you're conservative. Show me that you really mean that. Trump is not conservative. Trump used to go out to P. Diddy parties,
Yeah.
You're not conservative. What changed?
Exactly.
from one year to the next. So with that being said, these and this goes for both parties, because in all actuality, okay, yes, it is I'll tell you, Raheem, thinking about it, and I've had this conversation. Do you know how many of us people of color, and I say Black and Latino because I see it all the time down my feet, are actually voting for that party?
Yeah.
Because of guns, because of stuff like that. Hello, Democrats are not going to take your guns overnight. It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
The vaccine, Democrats are not going to make you take a vaccine overnight. I believe this administration will force the community to do it. I believe that. And, we need to actually sit down. Look, if you don't know, call Leonard, man. Leonard's really into that. Call Donald Tucson. I see he's got some good posts on that. I don't catch everybody's, but call them and ask them, what do you know? How can you help me? Call Rico. I've seen on Facebook that he's, talking to politicians and stuff. Get involved and ask, and then maybe they can walk you through it and help you. But I also say that if you're helping somebody, don't bias them one way or another. Just tell them, what do you stand for? And then let them find their way through there, And like I said, I'm registered a Republican, but it does not mean that I'm going to sit here and vote for every Republican. It's just what I was registered at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I joke about it. I should probably change it because I think I am more Democrat than Republican at the end of the day. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, when I go to vote, I do the right thing. So that's where the responsibility falls in. You know, you can't applaud. You know, this president was laughing about what was going on in Washington when the military got involved. Why? Why are you saying this on TV and no one says anything? Like, that's okay.
Exactly.
Okay, because you respect the military. I respect the military. I love the military, but no, that's not okay. Anyway,
good deal.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, let me go. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Bishop.
Bishop, good morning. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm blessed.
Good deal. Good deal. We're asking a question, man. Should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or should they go to the Republican Party, or is the Republican Party an option at all in this day and time? What do you say to that, Bishop?
Well, I'll start with the latter question. No, the Republican Party is not something that we should lean towards at this present time.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry.
we need to know the candidates, whether they're Republican or Democrat, and what they intend to do for their constituents. I heard Christian say that all politicians are liars. I served as an elected official, and I told no lie. I kept every word that I promised to facilitate the needs of my constituents. And so, you know, they do, and with all respect in mind or whatever, they make a whole lot of promises they don't intend to keep. And it's sad that there are some like that, but I can't say all are like that. I believe some interests are very strong, and I believe they set out to do what they're elected to do. But it's not just them. They got to win over the other Democrats or Republicans, whichever party they're affiliated with, but also they have to try to negotiate across the party line to make the thing happen. That's how politics really works as it relates. People need to understand. But years ago, I voted on a Republican ticket. I was a strong supporter of Ronald Reagan during that time. And he did a lot as far as I was concerned, because I was a military guy under his administration. He was commander-in-chief at the time. But I then changed, started looking at the party as a whole, what they need to do, and then I became a Democrat. But I'm a conservative Democrat. And that's just me. But no, don't just look at the party. Look at the person. Look at his platform. Pay attention to what he's doing. And then hold him or her accountable to what they're supposed to be doing.
That's good. That's good. Man, we got a lot going on. Let me see who I hadn't spoken to in a minute. Let me go up and down my roster.
Hey, can I piggyback off Bishop real quick? Cause he just said something that just clicked to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Something that I realized. I like that he said that he was a politician and he didn't lie, because that really shows you how generalizations in our community have messed us up. Because I hear that a lot. All politicians lie. All politicians lie. We got to quit grouping people together and making all these assumptions, because it makes it easy for somebody to say, well, I don't want to vote because all politicians lie. No, they don't. Find the ones that don't lie. I mean, if we put the correct information out there, we probably would get more participation. But when we have generalization, and I'm not trying to knock Christian on that, but it's just that when Bishop said that, it was so true. I thought about that. I said, well, you know what? Before he said that, I was agreeing. But after he said it, I'm like, you know what the truth is? He's telling the truth. Every politician is not a liar. So then when you go back and think about that, the things that might make a person not want to get involved in politics, it may be because they've heard that 10 times out of 11. You know what I'm saying? And that one person is telling them all politicians are not lying. That one politician that might be telling you I'm not a liar is going against 99 other people that's out here saying that they all are liars just because they don't want to vote. Is that laziness, or is that just something within our community to accept that, so we don't have to take that time to be involved? I mean, you know, we are a community or a society of people that like to do what we want to do and not what we need to do. Is that just an excuse? I mean, so we can put stuff out there like that, and people will use it as an excuse not to vote, even knowing how important it is.
678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We'd love to hear your input. What we're talking about today: should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic Party? Should they go Republican, or is the Republican Party even an option in this day and time? What do you say to that? Let us hear your heart. Give us a call. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Go ahead, Christy.
I just want to say, let me say this, and I just want to clarify. And just clarify just for clarification basis, not because of anything. I want to say this: all politician in some form or fashion does have to lie. Because if they tell you the butt ugly truth, then they would never get into office. And when I say that, and I'm saying that to say this, you cannot look at certain things to choose who you want to vote for. They have a lot of things they have to go through in order to bring some things to light. In other words, I could say in my platform, if I'm running for office, I can say, I want stronger laws for police officers. I want them to be held accountable for their behavior. I can say that as a politician. I may not have the power to do so, or I might have to have other people come in on me to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? I just lied to the people. Not intentionally lying, but because I wasn't able to bring forth that platform because I didn't have the votes or I didn't have the power or whatever. So we have to be careful when we're listening to politicians' speeches and we listening to the things that they want done. We have to know that some things, like you say, checks and balances. If you're president, it's some things that you're going to have to depend on the Congress and the House of Representatives to vote through. And if they don't vote for it, the president have the power to veto. So in knowing history, a president can say a lot of things. They can say we want to get more jobs. We want to decrease the taxes. We want to do all of this stuff. But until they have the appropriate votes, it's not going to get done. So instead of looking at those things, you have to look at the one who has the platform that is more for you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to make sure, okay, well, I know that he's going to do whatever he can to make this come to reality. And if it doesn't, I understand that it was a process. Is what I'm saying. So our politicians do somewhat lie.
Okay. Donna, you wanted to say something. Bishop, I know you wanted to say something as well. Donna, what's on your heart? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to make that clear. And Bishop, I'm sorry. Because you and every other politician that has the intentions of doing the right thing. And that's what it's all about. But the fight is, and when you said that, I'm like, Rico, when you said that, I said that all the politicians are lies, but that's not true.
Okay, good deal.
There's a system. There's a system that really they win some battles and they lose some. And when they lose some, we as a people have the mindset that they lied to us, but that's not true. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay, good deal, good deal.
Right.
Now, Bishop, let me ask you this question, Bishop. Do you think from the president on down, people that's going into office, do you think they somewhat, and I'm not going to say lie. I'm not going to say lie. I wouldn't say that. But what I will say is sometimes you have to sugarcoat the truth because people are not ready for the absolute truth about everything that's going on.
Well, the president we got now, every time he opens his mouth, just about is a lie. Just about. Every time he opens his mouth, it's a lie.
Yes, sir.
Again, I'm going to go back and reiterate it, and as it relates to something Chris was saying, it's not going to be a Greg Christie, Rico Greg Christie, Donald Rico Greg Christie, debate, because it's not going to be that way. If I'm a candidate and I say I want stronger laws, what lie did I tell? I didn't tell a lie. I said I want stronger laws. So I introduced legislation. Now I got to get my co-workers to go with this. I got to get my colleagues to say, okay, yeah, all right, Greg, now let's dissect it and see what we can come up with. And if we cannot come up with a consensus as how we want to do this, then it's tabled. We have to come back and revisit whether it's during this term or the next term when I run. But if I say I'm going to change law, now that's a lie, because you as a person cannot change laws, because on the city side, you have to go from the city council member introduce legislation, and it has to go before the House, and then when it passes the House, then it goes to the Senate, then from the Senate, then it goes to the governor. You just can't arbitrarily come along and change stuff. That's why there has to be a level of have the same level of respect across the board. I'm a Democrat, but I respect my Republican opponents or my Republican counterparts. I respect them, so we sit down and we sit at the bargaining table to discuss what can we do, and that's just actually how it works. So I want to educate the people in the reality of what is on the platform I'm running on. This is my platform. Am I going to be able to facilitate my platform? I'm going to do everything in my power to facilitate my platform. But if there is a controversy where with another one of my elected officials, being a Republican, or even another Democrat, may not like what I'm trying to do, then that's where we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
I can say this is my first year as an elected official. I ran the largest part of the county outside of the CEO of the and I had over 358 constituents, and I had to address their issues, their needs. But my promise was that I'm no crook, and I turn money. And out of all the elected officials, I'm the only elected commissioner that has ever turned any money back into the general treasury from his budget.
Wow!
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that ran on the platform of trying to end corruption. They kept saying that the police officers couldn't get a raise. I introduced legislation, and they got a greater raise than what they had been getting all the time. So if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Whether it be in politics, whether it be in church, whether it be in the home. I do everything in my power to facilitate my word. Because Revelation 21:8 said not some life, it said all of them.
Yeah.
So for those who declare themselves to be Christian and you are elected, you better think about what you say, because God hears you too.
Exactly.
And that's why I have to mean what I say and say what I mean, bro.
That's good. That's good. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, real quick, Raheem, I am here if you came to me and I wasn't there.
Okay, good deal. I'll come back to you. Good deal. Caller, what's your name?
Right.
Where you calling from?
Are you speaking to me, sir?
Yes.
This is your brother and servant, Brother Pete. How we doing this morning?
Hey, Brother Pete, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Hope everything's well. I pray that grace and mercy is finding itself abiding with your family at this time, dealing with the transition.
Absolutely.
To answer the question, no. We should, Black and brown people should not be committed to voting directly Democratic or Republican. They should absolutely see who is going to do the bidding that is within their best interest and pursue that. But I want to go into it a little deeper. We want to understand that, Claude Anderson did a real good interview on The Breakfast Club. I don't want to plug another show, but if you're able to watch it, watch it. You'll get some real good information about how this stuff works. All politicians lie in the aspect that they tell you they're representing the people, but they're actually representing the corporate body. So they're lying. They're not dealing with the de jure form of Constitution. They're dealing with the corporate Constitution, the state of, okay? That flag has a gold tassel around it. That's our Admiralty flag. It's letting you know we're in business. So we need to be clear that when we elect these clowns, none of them have the real intent of representing the interests of the people once they're brought into the body. As soon as you come into the body, you're operating in a whole nother capacity, different from what the average individual assumes or believes the authority and the structure is. So from that standpoint, they all a bunch of liars. Now, do some have good intentions and blah, blah, blah? I'm sure they do. And if they stay committed to them, they're not going to stay in D.C. long or stay alive long. So that's just the game. So
are you saying?
Really
are you saying in a nutshell, Pete? Are you saying in a nutshell? And I'm taking this back biblically. Corrupt company will corrupt. Is that what I'm hearing you say? That if they stay in there long enough,
absolutely, and put TP tested and proven in your Bible by that scripture, because that's a proof right there that that's true.
Mhm.
So I really want to encourage us to better understand the game.
Pete, let me ask you.
of
Hold on,
politics.
Pete. The other side of the coin. I know you, brother, from the broadcast and everything, and we've had several conversations. Are you telling me, and I want to hear your heart when you answer this question, Pete? Are you telling me that if you become a politician, and the fight that you fight today, if you stay within that, if you stay on that horse long enough, you're going to be corrupted by that system, knowing who you are and what you represent? Or is that what I'm hearing you say?
You will have to go along with the corruption in order to stay in office, or you will be removed from office, or you will be removed from this planet.
Okay.
Now, they may give you a brief recess and put you in prison for some things just to train you. But more than likely, and historically, you take a dirt nap or you end up out of office relatively fast.
Wow. So I'm taking it, and correct me if I'm wrong. I got to move on. Got several people here. Your answer to that question.
And for proof, our dear brother, the bishop, just told you his stance. Is he a president-elected official? No, because that system is so corrupt, brother. It's so corrupt, and he righteous. He righteous, brother. He just told you his resume. He told you his stance. I ain't got to say it. I'm bagging up what the brother just said. Why is he not in there now? All right, now come on, cesspool.
Good deal. Isna, what's on your heart? Isna?
Yes, hello. I'm listening to all of these great comments. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to stand on what you believe. Are you on righteousness side, or are you fickle-minded where you just going to go with every wind of doctrine? Every wind of doctrine doesn't just pertain to spiritual. It also would be political if that's what your wind is. And so I just believe standing your truth, because at the end of the day, if you don't, you're being wavered by every wind. So stand in what you believe. I'm not telling anybody to vote or not to vote, but I serve this country, and so I have a right to do either, because I fought for this country as well. And so for people to tell me sometimes, well, I can't believe that our ancestors died. Well, Martin Luther King thought that integration was a great thing too, but then he recanted the intent. He meant well, and so did our ancestors who voted. Now, I'm not telling you either or, but what I will say is go back into history, understand where you stand and where they stood, and based on the fact that they felt that they were being kept from their rightness and their liberties. But one thing I have come to understand is that no man can give or take away what the Most High has given me. You don't give me my freedom. You don't give me my birthright to live a life of freedom. Nobody can take that. Even in death don't have a sting. And that's just where I stand as a soldier, and not only a soldier in the Air Force, but a soldier in the army of God too. You can't take what you didn't give me.
Exactly. Good deal. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, Rod. What's going on? Family, morning, go family. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. We're asking a question.
Hey, Kurt.
I want to hear your heart on this thing, man. We're asking the question, should all black and brown people automatically vote Democratic, or should they vote Republican, or is the Republican Party even an option in this day and time? Curtis, what do you say to that?
Well, let me deal with the latter of your questions first. The Republican Party in this day and time is not the Republican Party, so no, they definitely should not vote Republican. The Republican Party in this day and time is the Dixiecratic Party. It's the Dixiecratic Party. I'm going to say it again for the listeners to hear. It is the Dixiecratic Party. It is the party of people like Strom Thurmond, and there's like 5 or 6 other names that escape me right now. I can look them up and give them out tomorrow. But they were all segregationists who left the Democratic Party when Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of '64 and the ratification of that act in '65.
They were all segregationists who jumped the party and had money, and they was welcomed with open arms into the Republican Party. The Republican Party today is not the party of Martin Luther King. It is not the party of Lincoln. So people need to stop telling that lie. Okay, so that was the latter of your question. What was the other two questions you had, brother?
Should black and brown people vote Republican or automatically vote Democratic? I'm sorry.
No, black and brown people should automatically vote their interests. The problem is us black folk have been voting the interests that we are told to have. No, vote your interests. And you can find out your interests if you just pay attention. If the Democratic Party had put up and or stopped and or done the things that the Republican Party up to date has done, there's no way in the world I would even consider giving them my vote.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in the world I could consider that. You know, we as a people, as a society, done got so caught up on this blame game that, you know, you remember the old saying, you know, throw the rock and hide the hand, or,
yes,
or don't let the left hand know what the right hand doing.
Mm-hmm.
So what these people are doing, man, honestly, is they're showing you one thing. This new Republican Party, they showing you one thing and they doing another.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna end with this right here. Over 107 bills on Mitch McConnell's desk that are bills that were passed by our Democratic Congress, and he refused to bring them for a vote. Well, why is that? One reason is because if you bring them for a vote and you all collectively as Republican senators vote against the interest of the people, then the people will have a vote tally that they can look at and see that, you know what, you guys did not vote in our interest. So what he has done is not brought them before the floor of the Senate to even be voted on. But he has allowed for $3 trillion to be cut from Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. The $3 trillion that was cut paid for what? Paid for the Trump tax cut that most of us that make less than 150,000, or it might be 250,000, will never see any benefit of. That's where it is, bro. That's where it is. That's where it's going to be until we get people like Mitch McConnell, we get people like Jeff Jordan, we get people like this known racist dude from Ohio, I think it is, Steve Stout or whatever his name is. Out of our government, there will always be white supremacists making rules.
Mm-hmm. Good
Y'all
deal.
look, don't pay no attention to what they say. Pay attention to what they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Frank. Frank, what's on your heart?
The one thing I want us to be careful of is that, you know, we come to the table as believers, but when we begin to say what we can't do or what can't be done, we go against Scripture. And we begin to make politics and people bigger than God. Now, the fact that, and I agree with Bishop 100%, the fact that you attempt to do something, you have great intentions to do things. If you're not able to do those things, that does not mean that you're a failure, or definitely doesn't mean that you're a liar. And understand, you may have laid the groundwork for the next generation to come behind you to get this thing accomplished. It may not have been for you to bring that thing to fruition. Mm-hmm. But we have to stop, you know, creating giants. We have to stop, you know, that's why, you know, it was the lie, and it was that premise that we didn't possess the promised land.
because we create all these giants. Man, nothing is bigger than God.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stop that. Do what you can do. And you know, we ran past what the young lady said about 45 minutes ago when she started talking about the things that we need to do in our own homes. That's where it starts. The things we need to do in our own community. And the reason we don't spend much time there ever is because it's work there. If you're trying to be a good husband, if you're trying to be a good neighbor, if you're trying to actually do things in your community, that's hard work. You know, my dad said something, man, it's blessed me, and it was a lot broader than what I thought. He said, any man can please a bunch of women. It takes a real man to please just one. Because just one is going to know everything about you. A whole bunch of women, they're not even going to require a bunch from you. Maybe a little money, a little bit of your time. That ain't impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to really cause change, let it start at your house. Be who it is that you're talking about, because we can all talk a good game. But who are you for real?
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going, Leonard, and Shira, coming to you next.
What's on, Raheem?
Huh?
What you talking about, Raheem? You just gonna come to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cause you've been listening to this conversation. I know you got something on your heart, brother. I know you got something on your heart. So I'm asking the question: what's on your heart?
Well, you know, my thing is, what you gonna do? You gonna put up or you gonna shut up?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna go down there and vote or not? We'll be able to tell after. But I can honestly tell you, people need to understand the difference between civic responsibility
Mm-hmm.
and their feelings and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even if these parties didn't have names, they'd still be what they were. And I know we've had this conversation before. See, y'all would rather change the name.
Let me do this.
Y'all would change the name or something, and it'd still be the same thing.
Exactly. Now you asked me for something. I got something for you. What do you say to the people that say, well, the Republican Party, that's the party that freed you all as slaves? How you gonna go against the Republican Party if they freed you as slaves? They did you a justice, and now you're gonna turn your back on them. What do you say to that, Leonard?
Well, let's pretend I live in that world that somebody would say something like that to me. First of all,
mm-hmm.
And then one, it would be just what it would be. You want to go to war about it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll kill from. I'll kill about what I stand on. Will you?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just playing the game?
Mm-hmm.
I see, I'm a person you got to put up or shut up. You don't get the opportunity to go back with me and be foolish. Because I'll put you in your place real quick, real fast. I laugh, joke, and have fun, but I play.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're not going to do is try to be slick and deceive somebody. Not what you got these words out the Bible or whether you got them from up under a rock somewhere. It's going to take a whole lot to knock me off my square. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good.
So come at me as you will. It does not matter. I was Biden before Biden announced he was running. You understand me?
You was already Biden.
I was already. Ask anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is he gonna pick to run with him? Because I don't get to pick his vice president. He get to pick his vice president.
Now, did he make a good selection?
Yes, indeed. He made a good selection. I wouldn't have voted for her for president, but he made a good selection because she's capable of doing the job.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this
and
question.
If you want to pit her as somebody inherently evil, I can show you evil people. She's not that person.
Okay. But let me do this. I'm going to ask you this question. We'll move on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to Anna after you. So Anna, be on standby. Now, if it was up to Leonard, between her and Abrams, which one would you have gone with?
Oh, Abrams was my person because I know Abrams.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was Abrams all the way, 100%. Whatever she run for, I would vote for her for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got you.
Because I know her as a person and her goals and her objectives.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
So I'm fully on board with what she would do for people and what she has always done for people in her positions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got you. Anna, what's on your heart? Anna, you there? Anna, are you there? Go ahead, Christian. We'll come back to Anna in just 1 second. What's on your heart, Kristen?
No, no disrespect meant to anyone,
When
but I want to
they
say
start off
this.
like that, it's iffy. When they start off like that, it's iffy. Go ahead.
It's gonna be messy.
Mhm.
It's gonna be messy. So I want to say this. You know, we have, and I'm gonna say we have to. It comes a point when you have to realize you maintaining your home or you maintaining your community is a direct reflection of the laws that are in place to help protect those things. For example, if I'm sleeping in my bed, minding my own business, and a police officer come into the wrong house and shoot and kill me, my house is maintained. My children are maintained. It's the laws that have seeped in that has not been under control. I'm not talking about whoredom. I'm not talking about whether or not you have the right rules in your community or whatever you have, the schools and everything. All that is a direct reflection of who you have as president, who you have in a house, who you have in the Senate. And we have to get out of the mainframe of thinking that, you know what, if I keep my house together, if we do what we can to make our community the best that we can make it, and we can do that. And even if we do that, if the laws surrounding that community or the people that's in office that are of that community is not held to the responsibility of what they're supposed to be doing, then our community would crash and burn. If you go back in history and look at when a lot of African Americans who did that and built their own city, had their own business. Look at Black Wall Street. I can give you several examples when we as a people have come together to do things ourselves and some outside entity that came in and crashed it or messed it up or burnt it or got someone else to infiltrate. Look at the Panther Party, how they got somebody in there to infiltrate it, to go against it. Look at the Malcolm X, look at Martin. You can go back in history 10 times over and look and say that, you know, even though we have our stuff, it doesn't mean that we don't have to be concerned, or it doesn't mean that we don't need to say, okay, I'm holding you accountable for what you said you were going to do. You said that you were going to hold these people accountable. I haven't seen you hold them accountable.
Yeah.
You said that you was going to make laws to make things a little easier for this person, that person. I haven't seen you do that. Whatever legislation you have in play, whatever you have in your heart that you're trying to do, and like I tell my children, good intentions don't mean anything. You can have the intention to go clean your room and never do it. So I'm gonna have the intention that I'm gonna whoop your butt until it get done, or I'm gonna take your stuff from you because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You said you was gonna go clean your room, but you procrastinated and didn't do it. You lied to me because you said you were gonna go clean your room.
So you're gonna whoop their butt while they cleaning their room? Because you said I'm gonna whoop your butt until you get it done. So you're gonna whoop that butt while they cleaning the room. They're gonna be in there picking up stuff on the floor and you whooping their behind. Lord, my
Get a
Jesus.
pop. But I'm saying that to say that, you know, good intentions are great, but intentions don't get things done.
Yeah.
And President Trump can say all the stuff that he said, but to me, he is not the person. He's always been a person he said he was. He's always been a rich man. He's always been a deceiver. He's always went from, you can look at his actions of his bankruptcies, how he went from things to things. You can look at him on his reality show and different things and see the character that he has. It's not hidden on who he is. Now, why they voted for him and allowed him to be in office? Because he says the things that they want to say but can't say. He does the things, he's like a puppet. He does the things that the corrupt people want him to do without having their hands in the pot.
Good deal.
So
Good
we
deal.
can blame him. So a lot of times we have to know that, like I forgot who it was that was on, but like he was saying, that office is so corrupt that if you don't become corrupt, or if you know, whatever you have done or is trying to do, you have to know in your heart who you are. Like Barack Obama knew who he was. We knew his character before he went into office. We knew what he was about. If you know his speeches, he never made promises. He said, "This is what I'm going to try to do." This is what I want us to have done, and I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna need y'all to put some fire behind the representative. I need y'all to put fire behind the Senate. Yeah, we can do this. Yes, we can do this. That was he was a yes, we can do it together. And so that's what we're needing now. We needed everybody to come together and say, yes, we can change America from what Trump has messed up in the 4 years that he messed up. We can make a difference. How can we make a difference? We can go to that voting poll and vote our best interest. Biden and Harris 2020 all day long.
All right, preacher. All right, preacher. We gotta move on, preacher. We gotta keep it moving. Let me go to as a matter of fact, Rico just came on the screen with us. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm trying to get caught up on what y'all were talking about. Where y'all at so far?
Man, we still in the same place, man. Should we vote for these folks, man? Are they liars? Do they deceive us? Do they have our best interest at heart? And the last thing I asked was this right here. And I asked this of Leonard, what do you say to the people that say, well, the Republican Party freed you as slaves? How you gonna turn your back on them? They freed you, man. They did you a service, and they freed you as slaves. Now you're gonna turn your back on them in 2020. It doesn't make sense to me. What do you say to that person?
Well, that goes
Civil War, they freed her.
that goes back to what I was saying earlier. When they bring that up, you have to go ahead and take the time out to have something prepared to educate those people, because obviously they missed out and fell asleep on some part of history that they didn't learn. Maybe they wasn't around at that time. I can understand if they wasn't born at the time that the Dixiecrats jumped ship and went to the Republican Party. But that was a shift, if I'm not mistaken, like in 1946 or something like that. Well, all the racist Republicans from the South, Democrats, jumped and went to the Republican Party. So with that being said, that's an easy answer, easy problem to solve for those people that bring that up. But we have to take that time out to be able to explain that to them, because if they know that fact, then that can never be an argument again. Somewhere you just corrected them where they're wrong on their information, and now they know better. We have to always remember, like I say this a lot, if we don't know any better, we can't do any better.
Yeah.
So if they saying that, they don't know no better. If they saying, man, voting is a waste of time because of the Electoral College, fool, all the votes add up to determine who's gonna get the Electoral College vote. You still gotta vote. So I mean, when you hear people make these excuses, they either uninformed, uneducated, or they just looking for a reason to not want to be involved. And most times they don't want to be involved because they are uninformed on what's going on. I mean, who likes to be involved or in a conversation or an activity that they have no clue about? They have no understanding, no education, no reasoning behind it. They just existing. Ain't nobody gonna want to be a part of that. So that's why we really don't participate. But I just hate the fact that it's so hard for a black conservative to choose. But myself feeling like I'm a black conservative, I still have to go with the people that I feel like will work with us to help those that need the benefit of the government the most. The tired and the needy, and those that need to come out of poverty, those that didn't have the have-nots that need help. I want to help. I want to work with those and vote for those, even though it might not benefit me, might not be in my best interest, but it might benefit that homeless child or that child that's being abused or whatever. So we in between a rock and a hard place though.
Absolutely. Going to Bishop, and after Bishop, coming to you, Pete. Bishop, what's on your heart? Bishop, you there?
Man, yes, sir. I'm right here. I had to take the phone off mute.
Okay.
Man, I'm listening. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. I want to make sure everything is clear, and I'm going to go back and reiterate as it relates, because we got to get that myth out there. All politicians are liars. All politicians are liars. They lie. The brother that was talking earlier, he only thinks talking about the White House. The other positions that we have to vote for, the Senate, these congressmen, all these different folks we got to vote for. I'm not just stuck on the White House. Because when it comes down to our government, you have local government, and then you have a federal. So don't put everybody in the same, bread basket. Don't put us all in the egg basket. Everybody's different. Then he made the statement, well, that's why he elect now. Because of a lie. That's why, because somebody lied on me. I didn't lie on myself. Somebody lied. Then after the lie was told, the folks came, we knew you didn't do that. What? Well, why do you support me?
Yeah.
Well, because you run into these situations. It happens. I'm a man of integrity. And that what daddy told me at the age of 14, all a man has, Greg, is his word. So if you start off lying, people can't trust you. So saying stuff like that will make people not want to vote. Because why in the world, if I already know he's gonna lie or she's gonna lie, why do I need to vote for him? I already know they're gonna lie. Or I'm just gonna vote just to vote. No, I want to vote somebody in office that's gonna have the concern and the care for the people. I never ran for the sake of saying I was elected. I ran to facilitate the needs of the constituents.
Come on.
The needs of the people. I believe that's what Joe Biden is going to do. And I'm like, man, I support Joe Biden. When I heard he decided he's going to run, that was a plus for me. And I'm telling everybody, he is going to probably do the best he possibly can within the time allowed him to do. But I'm not going to call everybody a liar. It's just like a preacher say, we can't help but sin. But when you find out what sin is, you're supposed to get away from it. And I know Frank can back that up right there. Because our job as ministers of the gospel is to get the people away from sin. Not let them continue to sin so you can't help but do it. Because the Bible said the wages of sin is death.
Yes,
so if the pay of sin is death, then I put you on death row. That's why I got to be careful when I teach and preach. That's why I got to be careful when it comes down to politics. This is a good topic, Raheem. Again, to God be the glory, because it gave you something that we really need to be addressing.
Yes, sir.
And yes, if we don't talk politics, then you go back and read your Bible and tell me, was not David a king? Is that not political? Was Solomon not a king? Was Saul not a king? Was Deborah, was she not a ruler? Was she not a judge in Israel at that time? So don't go talking about politics within the church. Because there's supposed to be a separation between church and state. And the separation between church and state, that you cannot hold the church. If me as a pastor, and I find out something that my parishioner did, you can't make me testify against my parishioner. And you can't come here as the government and tell me what to preach. That's why there's a separation of church and state, the freedom of religion, which falls into the first amendment. So as it relates, every politician is not a liar. If they say they want to do something and you elect them on that premise, but yet his counterparts try to block what he's trying to do, he did what he attempted to do. And you cannot blame him that it did not pass by his counterparts.
Good deal, good deal. Pete, what's on your heart, brother?
Have Bishop give out the address and the website and the time of the broadcast so that we can all tune in, because he just took us all to church right fast. All right. Look here. I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to apologize because I was mostly talking about DC. And I'm going to apologize because I cannot say that all of the state, all politics are local. So I cannot say that all local people come in with the intent or come in with dirty hand operations in their mind. But when I say that all of them are lying, I'm going to clarify this so you all understand what I'm saying. I'm assuming the majority of the citizenry believe we are up under the de jure, the original Constitution of the United States, of, for, and by the people. We are not up under that Constitution. That would be the government operating in authority. The government has been subverted by a corporation. And the corporation is what is operating now. The government body is still there. The authority is still there. But it is taking a second seat to the corporate authority in the corporate body. So when I say they're all lying, I'm saying they're all lying because they have you under the premise that they are representing and taking their oaths up under the original Constitution, and they are not. And as soon as you engage them and engage any legal arena, you will quickly find out you are not dealing with the original Constitution. Okay, so that's what I mean for clarity. And when I say we need to understand the game, if we all put $1,000 in a pact and put that money out up in DC, we would get more done than our voting, because that is how the present game is structured. I'm not saying you should not vote. I'm not saying voting is irrelevant or ineffective. I'm saying we need to understand the game, the system that is in function, and how that system functions. You don't see the Israeli community up in arms. They have a pact. They receive billions. They control much. They have positioning, and they also have ability. So now they understand the game, and they have positioned themselves as a community to be able to participate in the game and to benefit from the structure of the game, and also to control the structure of the game to their benefit. So what my premise is, we need to be more educated, better educated, more determined and defined, deeply understand this system and understand how to operate in the system to win and get the benefits that are within our best interest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. Let me give the phone number again. We got quite a few people asking for the number. And before I even do that, everybody that's on with us right now, everybody that's on with us, everybody that's listening, share this broadcast on your social media. Start a watch party, but share the broadcast. Please share the broadcast. I think we're giving information right now that a lot of people really need to hear. So if you don't mind doing it, if you don't mind doing a favor for this little short fellow from North Carolina, share the broadcast in some kind of capacity. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Now, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Again, 678-381-1973. What we're talking about today is, should black and brown people automatically vote Democratic? Should they vote Republican? Or is the Republican Party even an option in this day and time with everything that we got going on right now? Is the Republican Party even an option in this day and time? We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Morning, family. Toya with the T on the line. Hello.
Toya with the T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, doing good. We got a pretty good discussion going this morning. I definitely want to hear your heart on it. Should black and brown people automatically vote the Democratic Party, or should they vote Republican? Or is the Republican Party even an option in this day and time with everything that's going on with Trump? Is it even an option?
I'm not a Republican, but I think I'm going that way.
You saying
you're being honest?
You saying you're voting for Trump?
I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican, but I'm highly thinking about going in that direction.
Okay.
I really am.
Okay. Well,
at the end of the day, Democratic or not, it could be the Democrats in here doing what they're doing right now with these black folks. It don't make no difference. It don't make no difference. Any one of them can get it when it comes to thinking you're gonna be rolling this slavery thing back. However, we need to go for, like the brother was saying this before. The brother said that, did that, and he right. There are opportunities that I have noticed under the 4 years of this man's administration that were financially beneficial to me. And there are some other things that as a community that we can do to invest in that is highly beneficial. So my thing is not about voting automatic black or Republican. We need a list of what we want. We need to go through it with a fine tune and to meet us where we tell them to meet us at. Need to be the group we go with.
Okay.
And in the event that they do not meet us, to see all this, you do this until the election, and the election come and they stop. When they don't, we need to still hold them accountable. We still need to be in the street. We still need to be pulling up on their houses. We still need to be making sure that we make a noise, because the party that shows the best interest to be able to provide what we need as a so-called American or African American, we need to go ahead and ask for what we need to make sure we can sustain ourselves. And the person that agrees need to be who we vote for. It's not about Democratic or Republican, because it's just like we need a whole new group.
Okay.
It need to be like a Republican, the conservative, crack party, like for real. Because what we got going on right now, it's just a no-go on both sides. You know, my fear with Biden and Kamala is like, I lived in New York under Pataki, Bloomberg, and all them guys. They weren't no good for me. They weren't no good for my people. Stopping and frisking 4.4 million black
but
people.
Let me say this though. Let me say this though, Toya. I understand what you're saying, but I have to also say I like to deal with both sides of the coin. and Trump was no better. You know, Trump was no better for the black people in New York at all, because he was one of the main forerunners. If you remember about the young boys that got set up in what was that thing? Central Park 5. He was the more for, even when they were found innocent, he still said no, well, they did something, and he still wanted to keep them incarcerated and keep them locked up because
not a lawmaker.
But still,
he's not a lawmaker.
But no, my thing.
Bloomberg,
but listen, but my thing is, my thing is this, Toya. My thing is this right here, though, Toya. He was one of the. You're right. He wasn't that, but at the same time, he was a forward voice in trying to keep his knee on the back on the necks of those 5 individuals. He was,
and that's true. However, Bloomberg, Pataki, Giuliani are the ones who took away power, which to have your weapons. They are the ones that put things into place that hit black people and black men the hardest. Thousands of people talk from the sidelines.
Hold on, Curtis.
From the sidelines on how they feel about whatever. What I'm saying is, out of the Democratic Party that I've been with all the time, I've been running with them. I'm gonna look for who can best put me in a situation where I need to be. All that other riffraff, ain't nobody thinking about them racists. Come with it.
Okay.
Come with it.
So am I hearing you saying? I want to move on because I know Curtis is on standby. He want to say something as well. So am I hearing you say that you think Trump is best suited to huh?
No, they all trash. What I'm saying is that I'm probably gonna go with the Republican Party due to some of the financial benefits, because I just don't see them with the Democratic Party no more. Sorry.
Okay.
And again, I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm still up in the air at it, but it's like, I'm looking at the business structure and what you gonna do for me, and all of them garbage. But when it comes to this war thing,
wasn't there a time?
Let's go.
Wasn't there a time? I'm going to go to Curtis, but wasn't there a time where Trump wouldn't rent his apartments to black people?
Absolutely right. And the lawmakers are the ones that be able to control those kind of ideas and decisions.
But still, he's the one that said, I don't want to rent my apartments to black people. I don't want them in my apartments. And so, you know, for him to even take that stance, and nothing has changed, because he's the same one talking about back in the good old days, we would have hauled him out of here on a gurney. You know.
No, these ain't the good old days.
Yeah, but he's still that same individual though, Toya, and that's why I have an issue with him. They
are all those same individuals, because Kamala and Biden is not saying it out loud. They've been lying to us to our faces all these years.
But Toya,
period.
Maya Angelou said, if somebody tell you who they are, believe them. And he's telling you who he is.
True.
Maybe they didn't say it out loud. They didn't tell you who they are, but he's telling you who he is. And so the late great Maya Angelou say, if somebody tell you who they are, you believe what they tell you. He's telling you who he is.
I do believe it, and I'm ready.
Okay. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, first, let's just state an inconvenient truth here. First and foremost, there is a such thing as a conservative Democrat. That's number one. But see, the Democratic Party has allowed for the Republican Party to control the narrative and box them into just being a Democrat. There's a such thing as a conservative Democrat. Growing up, I was a Reagan Democrat, because some of the things that Reagan brought to the table, yes, I could agree with. Secondly, okay, Bloomberg is an independent. He is not a Republican, nor is he a Democrat. Thirdly, Giuliani is a Republican. He's not a Democrat. Giuliani is a Republican, been a Republican. Giuliani is the worst kind of Republican, because he's a Republican that went against his own people. He put his own people in prison. Now, I keep hearing everybody talking about Joe Biden was the author of the crime bill. Kamala Harris put folks in jail. Okay, they had a job to do. They had an assignment to do. They did their jobs to the best of their ability. The crime bill, if you go back and pay attention to the crime bill had to be put up because Clinton wanted the NAFTA bill. So basically, they did a trade and barter. Look, okay, look, if you agree to pass this through committee, then we'll agree to sign this bill. So they gave up one for the other. Now, here's the thing. Look, let's not skirt around another inconvenient truth. Our neighborhoods was horrible in the 80s and the 90s. The CIA was putting crap all over the place. Folks was dying I seen reports that said that folks, that the statistics were showing that it was looking like prohibition was back, bro. So that means that folks was dying in the streets, not only from murder, not only from gunplay. I don't know how many people is familiar with Miami-Dade County, but Miami-Dade County has become a war zone as a result of the crack and the drug epidemic. So was the crime bill right? I'm not going to say it was wrong. Was it applied right? I don't think it was applied right. I think a lot of your Republican states, a lot of your Republican leadership, and a lot of your Democratic leadership used the crime bill to overcharge African, Black, and brown people. That is no doubt. But was it needed? Was the Brady bill needed? Yeah, you needed to get them assault weapons off the streets. Too many people was dying from assault weapons. And soon as the Brady bill, soon as George Bush allowed for the Brady bill to expire, what happened? All of a sudden, we see a bunch of mass shootings with assault weapons. Come on, y'all. When Obama won the presidency, in the history of the recording of gun purchases, even straw purchases of weapons, they said that it had never been, the statistics show that there has never been more guns purchased in the history of collecting the stats than when Obama became president. The very day that he was inaugurated, the numbers was through the roof. So, I mean, I get it. Some people are going to vote their pockets, but I need for folks to understand something. Capitalism without a conscience is corruption. It ain't no way around that. Capitalism without a conscience is corruption. Please understand, this man has put money in your pocket for one purpose and one purpose only. That is for you to build so that then he can come in and snake you out of it and take it from you. They have been doing it for years. Trump got those buildings off of people like Toya, working, paying her taxes, doing what she got to do in New York City, and then blocking her from being able to put in the grant to get the grant money from the city. He literally was paying for the corruption that he was involved in. He was paying off judges. He was paying off wealthy businessmen to ensure that he got these contracts. Lastly, I'll say this, and this is recorded. It is right now being investigated by 3 different entities in the federal government, and the intelligence agency is one of the entities that's investigating it right now. The Trump campaign, Donald Trump, number 45, stole $107 million from his own campaign. He stole it.
Hold on, Kurt. Let me pull some more people. Let me pull some more people in, brother. I heard you. I heard you, brother. You're on fire. Rico, what's on your heart? Talk to me.
It's to me, man, it's like I said, to me it's sort of funny again, because it's the system that's in place with this government that needs to be taught and broken down. We could go back and point at Trump and see where he tried to appease Black people and patronize us for our votes with the little stimulus packages and releasing people from prison, majority Black. You know, those are good points. And I can understand how people can look at that and say, well, you know what, man, starting to lean toward Trump a little bit, because some of these same people could have got out with Obama and he didn't do it. Some of those executive board powers that Trump used and George H.W. Bush used, both of them were W. W. Bush. Both of them used executive orders that Obama didn't use. He could have helped out a lot of his people that that others wouldn't help out in the past. So Trump used that to his advantage. I'm gonna go and let some of these black people out of prison that shouldn't be in now. And guess what? They was in there when y'all boy was in there. So yeah, that's a good mind game to play on us, and I can understand people favoring Trump for that. Same time, I could go back and look at Biden and Clinton and Kamala and look at things that they did to appease us. Both parties have done bad, both have done good, and it's on the minimum. But I look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the elite and the corporations benefit more than anybody. And I don't want to support anybody that benefits the elite or the dominant society and ignores everybody else in society, the most vulnerable. But I think we should, I think, my opinion, we should spend more time breaking down how the government works, how the system can be infiltrated and utilized to do different things or manipulate. I'm not gonna say utilize, it can be manipulated. You know, people can make promises, and I want to go back to what Bishop said earlier too, because I wanted to hit on that, man. I appreciate the fact that he brought that up. These politicians, when they say that they are going to fight on behalf of something, and you vote them in to fight on behalf of that, when they go and fight and it doesn't pass through, they did not lie. They fought. The other people that they went against that opposed that made that not happen. That doesn't make them a liar. What makes them a liar is if they say they're going to go in there and fight on behalf of something, and then they fight, or they go totally against the grain and do something different. Those are liars. And there's not a lot of politicians that don't go and do what they say they're going to politic on what their platform is.
Like
go ahead.
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz, yeah.
Matt Gaetz.
Mm-hmm.
The dude, the one from Ohio, the one that shouldn't even be authorized to step foot in any federal government building as a representative of any kind of Senate and or Congressman, Jeff George, Senate and or Congressman in the United States of America. He's a molester. I call it out like it is. It's been investigated. He's a molester. That's the one that was the coach at Ohio State on the wrestling team that knew that them boys was being molested by the coach and did not say nothing and or do nothing, and then tried to call the boy's brother and get the boy's brother to get the boy to not testify. Call him crying. They got him on tape. Call him crying, please. Tell him not to testify, this, that, and the third, and then try to sit in front of American people and say that he ain't know nothing about it. You knew.
Oh, you know, was it Jim Hastert? Is it Jim Hastert, the one that was chairman over the House? That he was a molester one time. At one time too.
Jim Hastert, yes. Fritz Holland, not Fritz Holland. Oh my God, what was the other dude? He took charge after they sent Gingrich out of there. He was stealing money.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we gotta, like, for real, it is time.
Good deal. Let me do that. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you.
Right?
I want to go.
My bad, bro.
No. You good, man. It's passion, brother. It's passion, and I'm loving that. I'm absolutely loving that. Bishop, what's on your heart? And Leonard, coming to you next. Bishop, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm right here. Man, I appreciate what Kurt was saying. I appreciate what Rico was saying, because we just have to tell it what it is, man. Call it out, you know. And because I was into politics on the local side, and I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C., even as the county commissioner. I sat on the Veterans Administration Board. I sat on the Social Justice Reform Board. And so I'm very familiar with the laws and policies, how they actually work. My mind is made up. Can't nobody convince me otherwise to make me think and believe that every politician is a liar and or a crook.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my brother said it, you know, yeah, in D.C., there are certain circumstances, situations as it relates, and money becomes, you know, money corrupts things.
Yeah.
But let's give them the benefit of the doubt and trust and hope and let's also hold them accountable. People like Leonard and his group, they're the kind of people that hold these elected officials accountable. And I think we need to have the same due diligence to make sure that whoever we say, whether it be Republican or Democrat, that they fulfill what is expected of them and not become corrupt over money.
Exactly.
Now, I got to speak on my behalf. I ain't speaking for nobody else. Not one lie I told to get elected, and not one lie I told to stay elected. And everything I tell people, you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I ain't gonna sugarcoat that, because that ain't how I am. I just keep it 100%.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you like about me when you and I be talking, and we talk offline.
Yes.
You said, tell me the truth, tell me what up, and we do it.
Yeah.
So we need to go out and vote, and we need to make sure we make the right choice. And what we got at the White House now, that man had Kim Kardashian up there telling that man free this lady and free that lady. Every black person ain't free, but everybody that was tied to him, that got caught up in the situation, they out there walking around absolutely free.
Yeah, exactly.
He has pardoned them, well, pardon Pookie, pardon Ray Ray, and Shaquanda, pardon them.
678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. Again, give us a call, 678-381-1973. We're asking the question, is black and brown people obligated? I'm gonna change the word obligated to vote in the Democratic Party, or is the Republican Party an option, or is it even an option at all? We got another caller from 706 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from? 706 area code. Are you there? (706) going once. 706 area code. 706. Are you there? Going once, going twice. 706. Good deal. Anna, are you with us? Let's go back to Toya. Toya, what's on your heart right now?
Nothing over here laughing, because I know how many people are so mad when I say that about Trump. But this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I've actually, you know, all that with Trump, honey. Look, I ain't pay taxes back then, no way. You know what I'm saying? I was running around doing drugs, selling drugs, being drugs anyway. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that in those specific eras, honey, I'm being 100. I helped contribute to the downfall, to what Trump had coming on, because ain't nowhere in the world we should have been needing their housing and it. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. But again, you know, I've just looked at the past. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the things I haven't do. I looked at the things that I've played and contribute into the downfall of my people. Not blaming excuses for anybody else. You know, and within the last couple of years, you know, Barack Obama, I mean, hey, what can I say? I can't be prouder after nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But just being a black woman in America, I understand it is what it is, man. And I was brought up and raised and taught and trained that you need to be able to adapt and identify with the true reality. And the true reality is, for 4 years, Donald Trump has been the president of the United States. The truth is that every time I look at him, this is the truth. We've been saying they've been like this for all these years. He just got up here and he's acting, you know what I'm saying? And don't take it literally when I say, oh, all politicians. No, majority. You know what I'm saying? He's acting out of everything we said, how they was and what they be and what they do. Like, it was just like, oh, you know what? We've been saying that they really act like that. And they really feel like that. And now that he's up there doing it and saying, I mean, and it's like, it's okay. It's what's going on. Ain't nobody stopped him yet. And I don't mean assassination either. I mean, ain't no human being actually went up there and was like, no, we finna put an end to this. All the powers that be that we got. And this is what we still be in. So from aspect of just everything that black folks have been through, honey, me having my own mind and head, honey, on what I want to do. You know how many haters that's gonna tell me, oh, you can never be president, Toya, because you did this, that, third. You know how many of them gonna be black? You feel me? I don't care about none of that. That don't faze me. Barack Obama will come and tell me, oh, well, Latoya, you know, you're not qualified. You're not this. You'll never be president. You know why I'm gonna tell him where to go to? So at the end of the day, I feel like this: as I sit back and look at America, and I look at what's going on, and I look at what's real, and look like what's happened. It's about a plan and strategizing, honey. And the part of that plan is strategizing in my mind right now, because he's finna get these next 4 years, man. He's finna get it, man.
So you
And the
think
things that I know that
you think he's
I'm
going to
telling
win?
you, I'm
You
telling
think he's going to win?
I'm telling you he's gonna win.
Okay.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that he's going to win since he got in office the first time when I got the dare to run for president, because my spirit said then he's gonna win. You're gonna have problems. He's gonna bankrupt the country. But I didn't say anything. I just kind of sat back and looked. So year 4, I'm like, I'm when I tell you in my bones, I feel like this man gonna win, man. For real. I feel like the Lord put on my heart when he got in there. The next few things is gonna happen this term and next term. And if he wins, man, listen.
It's gonna be ugly.
Man, listen.
It's gonna be ugly.
Don't be either way it goes. Listen, if he wins, it's gonna be ugly because we're gonna already know that he cheated. We all know that if Trump wins this next election, I'm not even gonna say no, because the numbers, just how many people really like him, we sleeping on how many people really like him. They really got it by numbers, it looks like. But if the election come in and he wins, we're all gonna feel like and think that he cheated.
But
if he doesn't win,
if he doesn't,
racist buddies is gonna have a field day. They're gonna try it. They're gonna try it. They're gonna try it.
Good deal.
And it's gonna go down.
Okay, let me do this to you. I want to pull some more people. We only got a few more minutes before we get out of here. 706 area code. I called on you once. Are you there? 706 area code. Are you there? Caller, are you there?
They might be mad. They might be mad. They might have hung up
No,
because of the whole Trump comment.
Yeah, no. Actually, I think they're still there. 706. Are you there?
Are you speaking with me?
Yes. Yes. From the 706 area code.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think my comment gonna make this better.
Okay. Let's stir it up a little bit. Then what's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's TT. I'm calling for Georgia.
Your name? I'm sorry. What's your name? TT.
What's up, TT?
Okay, TT. What's on your heart?
Morning, TT.
What's on your heart? We're talking about should black and brown people vote? Are they obligated to vote Democratic, or should they vote Republican, or is the Republican Party even an option in this day and time? TT, what's on your heart?
Well, I feel like this. If you don't have a 401k, by all means, vote Democrat. But if your life savings is put into a 401k, and that's what you have to fall back on, by all means, vote Republican. Because at the end of the day, Republican is about the money, and Democrat is about money quietly. They're not saying. I have to go with Republican. I'm gonna have to vote for Trump because he made my 6,000 look like 18. And regardless of what anybody say, I'm gonna vote Republican because I like my money.
So let me understand this, and you said the way you want to say it and put it out there the way you want to put it out there. So basically, it's all about the money. Nothing else matters.
That's what they said. So they line in my pocket. So I mean, what else can I say or do?
Wow.
I'm gonna keep lining my pockets like they do, and I'm gonna shut the hell up. Get my ass in the corner and shut the hell up.
Okay, gospel station, since we can't use profanities, but my thing is this right here. Okay, I mean, if that I ask you what's on your heart, that's what's on your heart. That's fine. I can't rock with that, because to me it's more than just the money, because I've seen a lot of rich people miserable with more money than they ever spent. And so when we say it's all about the money, that's Bishop, what's on your heart?
Let me get there, and then I can make a better decision. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Bishop, what's on your heart? Everybody mute your line. Got some background noise coming from somebody's line. Mute your line for me, everybody. Everybody mute your line. Okay, good deal. Bishop, what's on your heart? Bishop, you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I was talking to my worker.
Mhm.
As you were talking, I was listening to the conversation. You know what? I want to say this, and I want to give you something to think about. And they're talking about. And I think I said something about Trump not freeing Ray and Pookie and Shaquanda. And I hope ain't nobody name on here listening, because I ain't trying to offend them personally. But I was just sitting up thinking about all the pharmaceutical industries and how much money they're making. And then we have the opioid epidemic. But they want to arrest them out there selling their drugs on the street. Then why are they not going after Bayer and all those industries, Johnson & Johnson, are making all these drugs that everybody become dependent on? They become drug addicts, taking and using them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just thinking about. I'm not trying to change the topic of the conversation, but all of that is tied into our government. And I think it was Peter. Somebody said something along the line about big money up there in D.C. Well, that's a big money maker right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to wake up and pay attention to all that is, and get ourselves out there to the poll without the thought or premise that every elected person or everybody running for office is a liar.
Yeah.
Remove that from your mindset. Look at the individuals and go vote with your conscience, who you believe and feel is going to be the best person to represent you after this coming election. And that's all I just need to say. I just want to just throw something out there.
Good deal.
So
Good
if
deal.
he can free his friends that were his buddies who got caught up in the situation, and hearing all the stuff that's going on, we need to wake up and pay attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? And Don, come to you next.
Oh man, that was pretty painful to hear right there, man. I remember what Monique said to Steve Harvey about it being the integrity game over the money game.
Mm-hmm.
The system of capitalization was built off of our backs. Rape, oppression, bullying. And that system has maintained, and now they got us buying into it. And they got us buying into it to a point to where we'd rather see our pockets lined than to see this same party denounce white nationalists. This same party embraces white nationalism. The NRA never addresses issues within the black community. They don't support no black issues. We have to make, I ain't gonna say we have to, I would love to see my people make politics a lifestyle. And number two, make integrity and love and humanity overrule material things. I could become a millionaire or a billionaire and just happen to take a ride through a back road town somewhere here in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, maybe even Oregon, Iowa, and get pulled over by the wrong person. And no matter how much my pockets are lined, doesn't mean they won't put a knee on my neck. Man, you know what? We got to go on. That bothers me a little bit that she said that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do better. That little green piece of paper ain't nothing but a trick.
Mm-hmm.
And if we willing to say that we'll vote for them just because they'll line our pockets, but they won't make laws to protect us or give us fair treatment to prosecute cops that kill people that's unarmed.
Our kids, man, our nieces, our nephews, man, our grandparents and people, man,
it ain't enough pocket lining for that.
No.
It ain't enough pocket lining for that. If I'm gonna vote for Trump, it ain't gonna be for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be for that reason. But
hold on, Kurt.
Go ahead, go to Kurt, man. I can't even say no more, man. I'm trying to hold this one in. I didn't think that was gonna bother me that much.
Mm-hmm.
But that hurt me to hear my people be that caught up in the ways of Western culture and Western world. Now that is more important now. Having things, you know what I'm saying, being fabulous, being great, living our best lives mean our selfish best lives mean more than our people in general. And we keep getting distracted and caught up in this little game, this politic game, and putting labels on it when really truly the labels don't matter to them because they in power in both parties.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of which way they gonna deliver the game to us. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it at that, man.
Good deal. Go ahead, Kurt. I'm going to Donald.
Raheem,
Quick
Rico,
version, brother. Mm-hmm.
That's why I love you, man. because, you know, she said something about 18,000, and I can respect, you know, okay, look, they get me some money. What bothers me and what's sickening with that ideology is they got you 18,000 while they made 1.8 billion off your 18,000. Your actual yield should have been at least 1.8 million, not 18,000. You understand? See, we gotta understand the game and truly understand the game to the level of that same 18,000 that she made. Somebody was going out the back door with it soon as she made it. So just as fast as she made it, that's how fast it could be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody is stealing it as it's coming in the door. So, you know, I get the ideology that, look, capitalism is working for me. Well, capitalism is only working for you because of such things like Dodd-Frank, because of such people like Elizabeth Warren, who put up these ideologies and these entities that said, look, you can't keep abusing the people and taking their money. You can't keep exploiting the people and exploiting their money. So, you know, I get what she's saying in terms of capitalism, but people really, really, truly need to understand that they gave you 18,000, but yet they won't allow for you to truly make the investment in the company that'll make you 18 million.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have enough money to get in that order. You understand? Let me just put
Kurt,
it like
I'm gonna say that. Let me say that. Hold on, Kurt. Let me say this real quick, and it's 10:02. We got to get out of here in just a second, and I want to go to Donald too. But my thing is this right here. I talk to people all the time. They say, Raheem, why you don't want a quote unquote a job? I say because that's just a way, and nothing against anybody that has a job. I'm saying just for me. For me personally. That's if they know how much they pay you, they know how much power you have. They know how much how to deal with you, because they know what you got. If they give you, if you're making $50,000-$60,000 a year, they know what you can do with that. But if I go out there and create my own, I create my own, and they don't necessarily have to know how much I'm making. They don't know how much power, quote unquote power, I can have in certain situations. Go ahead, Kurt. Wrap it up for me, brother. We gotta get out of here.
No, you dead on, man. The military does it all the time. That's how they control you. They know how much money you're making.
Yeah.
Check this out. My uncle, God bless the dead, God bless the dead, man. You know what I mean? My Uncle Butch was an avid dude for politics and governance, and he was real heavy into structural engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was one of the big wigs at one of the major union joints in Baltimore, right? He called me, right? He said, nephew, this is not a good day. I said, why? He said, man, look, there's a new push to do something or another. I think it was a power plant or whatever, right? He was like, if we had 50,000, that's the only way we could get in. Now, how many people you know walking around with $50,000 in their pocket just drop on an investment?
Not a lot, brother. Not a lot.
Right? But then once you get that 50,000, then you're going to open it up publicly so that the 50,000 you spent, you guaranteed to at least get your 50,000 back.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal.
You know what I'm saying? So like for me, man, like don't just think about your particular pocket, because the truth be told, you don't know who got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So that your pocket could be straight.
Good deal. Let me go to Donald. Donald, what's on your heart?
I wish I had time, but I ain't got it. I know it, but they're counting on you cheering. And I don't mean to be offensive, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's integrity or anything else, but they're counting on you boasting, or not boasting, that's the wrong word, or happy about that $6,000 to $8,000, which is no money. I can spend that today, right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's no. If you don't have $100 million, you do not matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. It's time for us to get out of here. Kurt, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, brother? Kurt?
Oh, today at 3 o'clock, I had to unmute the phone. Today at 3 o'clock, you can go to www.dkmmediagroup.com to hear this show in its entirety. 3 o'clock today, www.dkmmediagroup.com to hear the show in its entirety.
Good deal. Bishop, you still with us?
Yeah, brother, I'm still here.
Pray us out.
I'm still here. All right. Heavenly Father, we come before you this present hour, giving thanks and praise to you, Lord God, for all that you do and have done. Thank you, Lord God, for DKM Media Group and associates, all those who participate, and all those who have crossed the land, Lord God, that listen to this broadcast. We trust and hope and pray that our words may have not gone on deaf ear, but ears to make them think and realize what we need to do. To get out there, Lord God, to support your mission, your ministry, Father God. Bless, Father God, we are praying for those who are suffering from corona, those who have lost loved ones due to corona and or any illness and sickness. That's Father God, if you will build them up, keep them and strengthen them, and lead them, Lord God, that we may enter into the promised land that you prepared for us. This prayer we pray in thy holy and righteous name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Got to get out of here, man. This has been an amazing topic. I definitely want to thank everybody for the input. And one of the things I want to thank everybody for their honesty and transparency, because these are the conversations that we really have to have. And we're not going to always agree. You know, my thing is, and I say it all the time, anybody that knows that's a part of the DKM Media Group, no, we don't always have to agree, but we have to respect each other's opinion and right to have their opinion, whether we agree or not. It has nothing to do with whether we agree. But everybody have their opinion. Everybody have their own life experiences. And that's what we talk about here on the Morning Glow and across the board at DKM Media Group. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all that called in, that voiced your opinion, said what you said. Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. It's 10:07. We're about to get out of here for today. It's 10:07. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You all have a great day. And if you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might get some love in return. Love you. Stay blessed.